Federico, Mr. Kiremico.
Hello.
Welcome to Son of a Pigeon podcast.
Thanks for inviting me, actually.
What an honor, man, to have you.
No, the honor is mine, man.
No,
I'm being
mine.
part of the new Joe Rogan experience, but way better.
The pigeon experience.
The pigeon experience, man. It's like,
You know what's the pigeon experience?
I actually want to know about what's a pigeon, but you'll tell me at some point,
The pigeon experience is when you're walking in the street and then a pigeon takes a poop on your head.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's for luck, you know?
It's a lucky way.
Yeah.
Actually, I got many of these pigeons that like they took a poop on my stuff, but never here. I mean, all the time was in Argentina, and that's something that doesn't happen that much. I don't see that many pigeons here in Berlin.
You don't see many pigeons here in Berlin?
No, I got the feeling in Argentina it's more like, tons of them in the parks.
So if here, because there are many here in Berlin, if this is little, so Argentina basically is being hostaged by...
It's been taken over by the pigeons who take poops on people's heads, I guess.
Damn.
They're like aggressive ones.
I think there is a fine line between luck and when it's just pure shit on your head.
Yeah, it's like, I mean, most of my life, if I've been like, took a poop on one of these pigeons, like nothing really relevant happened. I got the feeling, so then I stopped to believe about that. But maybe that's just luck, it's just like the clementines that you have here. There might be something related to this pattern that I see. So I think it's kind of cool to do.
It's the universe trying to speak to you in many ways.
Maybe. I mean, I think like this is going to be a pretty good week, at least. I mean, I got the feeling that March 2023 is going to be a great month so far. I mean, so far it's been great. I think like what's coming next is going to be really awesome as well. So I'm really looking forward to the power of the pigeons.
For March?
There are some plans for March, yeah. I mean, in pretty much all the aspects of life. But most relevant to the Kiremico thing, if I could say, there are some interesting plans, which are, I mean, one is kind of rolling, and we're going to be doing more promotion in the next 10 days, but we're launching our own playlists. That's one thing. I know it sounds like, yet another playlist, but I think the way we're going to just to promote this is going to be interesting for the musicians. I'm probably getting some sponsors from some brands that will help us create the content. Spending time to actually getting the musicians that are going to be, interesting to get, but not only in Berlin, but in other places that we're going to be filming also in the future. I was telling you about this LA and Mexico trip. And then the other thing we got us really, really excited. It's like we created a new musician tour calculator. I know it sounds like really, really weird when you say like a band tour calculator. People are like, okay, how does that look?
And I would like to get deeper into that, but even before that,
okay.
Maybe to introduce you a little bit, because you're one of the most powerful people in the music scene, I would say, in Berlin. But not powerful as I have a lot of power and you can suck my dick if you want to get something. Not this kind of power. It's more like you're everywhere and you're doing everything.
That is true.
Yeah, man. True. And we met, where we met, like 2020, something like that. Did we met after Corona started? We did this video.
Even before. I mean, physically, we met 2020. Virtually, 2018.
Yeah, virtually.
Yeah, virtually 2018. That's interesting. The way we met was like, I think we were scouting for musicians in Berlin that
you
summer.
You just arrived here, right?
Or no, I was just passing by, actually.
Passing by, so not even arriving.
And I was just passing by on 2018 for doing videos. So we ended up filming like 2-3 projects in the city. But we were scouting a lot of musicians through Facebook. And I remember that you sent us a message. And then for some reason, we quickly went to WhatsApp. And then that's how we ended up talking on WhatsApp. And then 2 years later, we ended up collaborating.
Yeah, it was 2 years later?
Yeah.
Wow, it's been a long time.
And it's kind of funny because time passes really quick. And, that's what I tell everybody. Maybe, I start talking to somebody now, but it could be like 2-3 years that we finally collaborate.
Yeah,
And I have many examples like that. Like, I mean, I've been talking to people for like 3 years, and then finally I actually do something. Not that I actually do something, that the opportunity happens.
Yeah. And what is it that you're doing? You're making videos for artists. You also record them, playing songs live. And then you somehow publish it. You have a YouTube channel, which is called Kiremico, or Instagram.
Yes.
So you give stage basically for independent artists.
True. Yeah? I think I think there were like different stages that we've been developing with this project in the last 5 years now, or not 5 years, but it'll be 5 years in June. Like the first video was filmed at the end of May, or no, the first two, I think 2nd of June 2018. So it's gonna be a 5-year project, and I usually yes, we do videos, but I think overall it's more like a musician accelerator and facilitator of resources for musicians to like go a little faster with their career. So the real origins of this project was, I was living in China and I was coming out of like a failed startup that on the music space. So the last thing I could actually like grab, let's say, from this music startup was this organization of concerts that we were doing in China at that point in Shenzhen. And the main patterns there were that many musicians wanted to play in these concerts. Most of them did not have like either videos or pictures to present themselves. And we managed to actually get some funding from some sponsors to film them for the very first time. So the sponsors were like, okay, can we actually, ask the musicians to use a guitar, let's say? And I was like, yeah, sure. I mean, let's do it. And I would like tell any of these musicians who at some point they become friends when you start interacting with these people and you go out with them, etc. And they were like, yeah, sure, let's start doing these videos and I can use that guitar. And that's how the ball started to roll, because there was... quite frankly, for the very first time in my life, that I was finding like a three-weight value, like one for the musician, which was like creating the music live session, not a music video clip, but a live session, and also getting some photography, for free, while somebody else would be paying just for asking to use a guitar, and then I could actually survive at that point by doing that, right? That's on one thing, but then we started to move a little bit away from, I mean, we're still doing videos, right? Like we run like a 14 musician session a week ago in one day. One after the other. Yeah, like every half an hour. It's kind of like we have this kind of like pragmatism when we do things. Maybe because, I mean, now the full project full-timers, let's say it's me and Luz, and then those who we hire for filming, Gustavo is taking the audio. Those who film, like I'm not really filming that much anymore. There's always somebody who's like coming over. And one of the things that we see is like we try to see musicians not as artists only, but more about entrepreneurs or solopreneurs that have a creative product, which whatever you are, I mean, maybe because I'm coming from entrepreneurship and I am not a musician and I'm all the time trying to, see opportunities where the process can be improved and, accelerated. So when I finally got into this thing of doing the videos and adding value to the musician, adding value to a brand or a sponsor, and adding value to my bank account, to as a way of salary, that's when I started saying, okay, like let's forget about the musicians that were like only doing creative stuff, but also most of them, I'm not saying all, but many of them, they would dream or they pursue a goal to live out of their music. And if you want to live out of your music, at some point you need to kind of like get the business person suit, right? Some people are willing to do that, some others don't, which is okay. Like I mean, I don't care about like everybody's goals, but for those who want to, like get stuff, serious and done and go faster so they can focus on their music and doing less entrepreneurial admin. That's why we create blogs and we create, the playlist, and we're creating the tour band calculator that I was super excited to talk about. But so it's when people ask me, yeah, we do videos, and we promote in the website like free videos for musicians, because that's kind of like the most immediate product that brings a result for them. But it's more like a musician accelerator in a sense.
Yeah, I remember you had a session with Pato, your friend. We were in Kreuzberg, somewhere in Keller.
With Pato Kai?
Maybe, yeah. Spanish, no, it's not Spanish. It's Argentinian as well.
Yes.
Yeah, and you taught me how to do automated emails, and like that list that was long until China.
You were there that day.
Was there,
we were the three of us. Yes,
with the plugins on Gmail and all this stuff.
It's like,
you just do this and this. You have a template, and you just send it to thousands. Like, wow, man. Crazy shit.
But this is something, and like a few weeks ago, we were just doing, and we're trying to actually get better at helping people to just doing the things. It's like sometimes, I mean, not only musicians, but people in general, like maybe they're just doing something, and maybe their knowledge reach to a certain limit. Not because they cannot, they don't acquire the knowledge somewhere, but you can actually show them, and then they can use that and gain insane amount of times.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
And if you gain insane amount of times, rather than just say, no, I don't want to send the emails or organizing the tour or contact labels, it takes too much time. Yeah, okay, well, use technology. And most of what we're doing, with the blogs, progressively, it's moving towards like building solutions for musicians. So I think and there are free solutions that are like, paid by sponsors, or paid by us, because we do videos that are not related with the music space. But it's something fun to do. I think like musicians, if they can gain time in whatever they can, that it's not like that takes them away from music, just do it.
I agree. Especially today. Today it feels like you need to be a one-man show.
Yeah.
You need to be the writer. You need to do the mixing. You need to know production. You need to do the ads yourself, promotion yourself, finding gigs, finding everything.
True.
And I think it's all of that because the standard is to do it more by ourselves, since we don't need so much resources today.
Yes.
I mean, the resources are more available for us, and it's easier for us to have them. I mean, I don't need to pay a PR company to go and advertise. I can just do it myself.
I fully agree with you.
And it's easier than it was 20 years ago.
Especially in Berlin.
Especially in Berlin.
I mean, it's like...
you have the internet. And today you have all the AI stuff, so you just can...
It's true. I mean, we can run a podcast from a living room, if we want to. I mean, any musician can record themselves with pretty good quality from the kitchen, if they protect a little bit,
I know a good musician who had in his kitchen, he had a studio.
He does.
Yeah, his name is Steven. Maybe you know him.
Steven
Tuteberg, I think. I'm saying his last name probably wrong because of the umlaut. The Tuteberg. But he is one of the best producers, I think, in Berlin. He got
the best kitchen producer now.
That's for sure, man. He got the kitchen awards.
That's the best kitchen award. That would be great. I think you like kitchen production awards. That's a funny one.
The Golden Spoon Awards.
Imagine that one. But I mean, quite frankly, there are like few excuses now to.
There is no excuses now.
There's no. I mean,
not even a few. There is absolutely nothing.
I still see a lot of people who are like really, I don't know, I think they spin too much in circles when they are about to do something. But that happens not only musicians, in general, like life, you will find people who maybe they take action right away without like, measuring that much things at the beginning. Like me at some point in life, I was like jumping with great gusto to many things, to stuff like the Kiremico thing. It's kind of like a completely unknown thing. When I started, it was like, I don't know. It looks like, you kind of feel, okay, this is the way to go. Boom.
It was something you looked and you thought it's applicable. And then
it's like, I mean, I can do it. Or, I mean, even if I'm not professional, I'll do it. I think there was a lot of that because I'm not a video maker from scratch. Or I don't know anything about films. But
so it was more like opportunity. You thought, I can get a camera and I can start doing videos.
Actually, I had a camera because I liked photography, kind of like personally, but I was not a photographer. You know what I mean? I was more like an enthusiast. But the camera that we started was like a cheap Nikon D3100, something like a piece of material that was like $400. Just to give you a rough
price
idea
for a camera.
Yeah, it was like the cheapest Nikon you could find, one of those, when I started with that, it was more like an opportunity. Like, okay, I know that musicians need video, and most of them, they're not willing to pay. Not that they're, no, sorry, let me rephrase that. Not that they're not willing to pay, but when you are going to spend something on video, and this was in China, but even here, you need to kind of like get the money, see the person who's gonna do the video, gonna trust the person, and then like many questions happen in the musician life before doing some stuff, right? Especially on an expenditure. Mm-hmm. Because it's your project and you wanted to make it look good. Like, it's not like I'm going there and I buy a DVD player. Like, you spend some money there, you don't care.
Yeah,
but
it's your branding in the end. But usually
it
comes from your own pocket.
So especially when you're spending, it's like, it's my branded image and so on and so forth. So there are many questions and the decision gets delayed. And many people takes like many months to actually record a video. And when we've seen that, we could say, hey, we can do it faster, but you don't have to pay. You just need to use something. And it's not the end video. It's not the first or the last video in your life, but just, content that you can use whenever you want. Then people, are happier to actually get this thing done, and we reduce this decision-making complexity. So the thing about the no excuses, it's like, some people still, there are not many excuses now for not recording an album at home. I mean, you can record everything. Then it's just people, sometimes they overthink the things too much.
Yeah.
And this overthinking, start getting too analytical into everything. And then, unfortunately, it's just most of people, they just don't do the stuff at the right timing, maybe.
Yeah, there is the fear of being successful. It's something real. Most people dream about being successful, but the moment the opportunity show itself, it's like, maybe it's not the right time. I'm not ready. Then people will have expectations of me. It's a big fear.
Absolutely, yeah.
And it's a huge fear. And I think this is the main force that drive people not to take action.
I think this is key. And there's also like, some they start to delay things. I mean, it comes that what you just described, it's what many people that I see, that I meet, also happens to have, musicians or not. Some people, it's like, okay, I've been working on job A and I don't like it. I would rather job B, but they don't jump into job B. It's like kind of like, like the comfort zone. Okay,
what are you doing for that? I just come home after work and I drink beer.
Yeah,
for sure it's gonna help you.
Or it's like being in a bad place. I know it's a known place, so it's just okay. And then sometimes when they do it, maybe they say, okay, finally I'm gonna do it, and they don't, or they overestimate the results. So what most of the time happens, if we're going back to music, you could be like all sorts of excited about your track, but I mean, statistically, most probably you're going to launch it and not even your mom is going to listen to that. It's like you're going to have to tell her and ask her, like, can you please?
Please, mom.
Listen and click.
Stream, mom.
Yeah, and click and leave a comment. And then some people, they get kind of, not demotivated, but kind of like, okay, nothing happened. It's like, it's not because you release something in this world which is like insanely flooded by content every millisecond, that people are gonna rush to
there are like 40,000 songs being uploaded every
40,000
day.
On Spotify. It's just insane.
Songs. You don't have 40,000
per day.
You don't have enough time to even listen to it. How much?
No, and most of the time we listen the same track over and over.
And it's usually a band that we know for 10, 20 years.
Yeah, maybe you go and say, I'm going to listen Deep Purple again, just to give you a silly example. But, it's like, it's really complicated to know all the music out there, and it takes time.
It takes time.
But unfortunately, some people, they're going to lose the time by not acting soon enough.
Yeah, this is the biggest killer, not acting. Because
I would
you're
say.
afraid to take an action because it might be scary. Because then what they do afterwards, or maybe
especially music, where there
Especially
is something related with youth that it's attached to it, unfortunately.
like what if you're not young enough, you don't have so much chance.
Well, there's the thing of like most of the people who actually consume some pay music are usually on the youngest side, by going festivals, consuming things related to the artists, etc., etc. But most of the festivals lineups, they're kind of young people. I mean, they're not like plus 60s.
Yeah.
Yes, you can make it. You can make it any age in this life, like if you want to. But usually, like it's like I don't want to say like a football player career, but they're like kind of like most of the time you're really appealing for one part of the market who can help you go faster when you are young.
There is the advantage, but I don't agree with that. I think it depends what you have to offer. Usually, sometimes those young people, because they're young and they have energy and they look good, but after a certain age, that's it. They have nothing else to offer.
But I think it's more about the energy, more about the looks also. Because when you're young, you have enough time, you can focus on your music and you can say, okay, listen, I'm going to spend like a couple of years kind of like, figuring out without having to, get my shit together. It's like when you're 40, you're like, okay, well, it's not like, okay, tomorrow I'm gonna just drop everything, I'm gonna try my musician stuff and I'll see what happens. It's harder to find people who are like, I'm gonna just completely switch my direction now.
Yeah, this is what I noticed when I came to my 30s, even afterwards, even beforehand, sorry, not afterwards, when I was in my late 20s. And I was looking for people to play with. And then you already start to distinguish there is a difference between people who really go full-time music and the people who are still doing music, but they probably go for something else, which is not music. So it can provide them money. And then it's very difficult to play with those people who are good musicians, but they don't go full power into music because they will not commit to any musical project. And if you don't have money, it's very difficult to get to those who go full power in music because usually they are professionals and they charge money for that.
They need to, like allocate their time in things that either are really serious for their career or otherwise, like, I mean, they need to act somewhat strategically, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But I think that's a good thing, I would say, when that musicians act strategically. I mean, not all of them have a strategy.
Yeah, if they're good and if they're strong in the music scene, probably they have also some business mind or business.
I would say so. I
think it's very difficult to be successful anywhere without business mind.
If you're operating a business, yes. Like the music business.
Yeah, also music, yeah.
I mean, you can be successful, I don't know, Mother Teresa Calcutta, it's like she was not a business, but she was successful just by, I like to help people, have a passion for like whatever.
But this is
I'm just giving a silly example, right? But I think in what happens to me, probably happens to you, is that you can meet a musician in Berlin or in anywhere because talent it's borderless. But and sometimes you hear people who's like, "Oh, this is just insane." But this musician is not really like working a bit towards their business, or he doesn't really have a strategy in his mind or her mind or what she wants to do, and then it just disappears, vanishes. I mean,
the musician.
Well, I mean, maybe they remain doing something, but I mean, some other people who are really famous, they could be at the same level of talent on the musical side, but just because they put effort on the business side, that will take them to like far away if they want to be far away. I mean, we can all the time claim, okay, what's being successful or not. I mean, you're successful if you do what you really want to do.
Yeah, exactly.
It doesn't have to be like million people or not, but in a business wise, in which you make money out of what you create as a musical product. That's really complex. I mean, you need to have a business mindset at some point. Otherwise, you need to find a second job and, play some music and okay, that's fine, which is great as well. I mean, it's legit. But making money out of music, you need at some point to kind of like switch into business mindset.
Yeah, I agree. Or at least hire someone who can do it for you and just trust them. But it's impossible to think, oh, I'm gonna play my music in open mic and people will love it, and then a producer will come, will discover me, and he will sign me in universal contract, and then
like,
that's the romantic, sexy story about being a musician. But also back then in the 70s and the 80s, people don't know that there were a lot of artists who got big contracts and they got a lot of money like pre-paying.
Yeah,
I don't know what it's called. Advantage? No, not advantage. How did it go? Yeah, but when you get a little bit of money for yourself, when you get signed for the contract.
Yeah.
And then you make the album, so the producer is getting paid, the studio is getting paid, you make a photo shooting, so the photographer is getting paid, you make the first video, so the videographer is getting paid, and then you've also probably promoted to radios and MTV if it's a bit further, and also they get paid.
Yeah.
And what if the song is not successful? Then who owns the money? It's the artist. Basically, all the money the artists are making from album sales, and I don't know, depends on the contract. Probably it's to bring back all the money the record label invested. It's like taking a loan from the bank, so you need to bring it back afterwards.
True.
Yeah, and some artists were not successful as they thought they were, and they got a lot of money. And because it's not a bank, it's a record label, then there is a different appeal to that. It's not like I need to bring it back.
I think, the moment somebody's helping you economically and with resources, especially a record label, right? I don't think they're evil or whatever. It's just part of a business.
Yeah.
Obviously they care about artist success because otherwise they would not do it. But they have a machine, and that machine needs to be fed with mostly money, right? So they put a lot of cash and resources, and besides that, like know-how, like the fact of I know how to actually get this artist from here to there, but then the relationship of those partners, the artist and the label, could be complicated.
Yeah, but also sometimes, just artist does not become viral or is not becoming super successful.
That could definitely happen. I think like in life, it's easier not to be. The odds are against you all the time.
I agree.
So whatever you do, most probably it will not. It will reach no place. I think it's more about how you learn about those little failures that you have on the way, and then you try to refine. My life it's a constant thing of still I make mistakes because I try new things. I'm okay, listen, it was not good. Let's switch to let's learn out of the thing and let's do something different, trying to actually evaluate what things went wrong, especially on, I would say, in a level. But the funny thing is, I don't know if that happens to you, but sometimes you make a mistake and you think, okay, I know now, and then you just make another stuff which is good, and then you maybe you could actually go back to the previous mistake and make a mistake again. Like sometimes,
the same one.
Yeah,
but a different subject.
It could be on the different, but it could be on not exactly different. Sometimes it could be the same type of subject that you actually think, okay, now I have a control, and then the mind kind of tricks you thinking they have a control, and you can come back and do the same mistake. Or like, oh yeah, in a different shape, but the way you analyze them from the distance, like, oh, actually, yeah, I didn't learn enough from the previous mistake. Like that's gonna happen to me sometimes. That I was like, okay, especially when you want to try new stuff, that you try something new, doesn't work, then you just give some time to learn. And you think, okay, now I'm ready. You just go and you try it again. No, just fuck it up again. And you're like, oh, wow. That happens to me sometimes. Maybe I'm too silly.
It happens the whole time. I think this is the best part of learning.
I think it was like when you ride bikes. It's not that you fall once and then you never fall again. You fall several times. It's like, and you think like, now I get it, boom, and these moments you're like, oh, now I really get it. It's like, and you fall again, like it's like, oh no.
Even if you're a professional and you go to ride Tour de France, man, there is a chance you fall down because whatever.
It's kind of crazy, and I think that's the stuff that happens to me a lot. I most of the time think, okay, I try to minimize risk now because I'm going to be 40 very soon. So I'm cool about risk, but trying to just to measure a little bit more. Like, okay, let's take some more conscious decisions than when I was 20. When I was 20, I was like a kamikaze. Like I didn't care. Like, oh wow, there's an airplane. Let's crash it.
Yeah, but that's the time to do those stuff. When you're 20, that's what you do. You explore the world and you make stupid mistakes because there are no consequences. I fully agree.
I mean, that logic to me kind of went until my early 30s, mid 30s. But then...
I think also the 30s is a good time. I think it's more like incubator. So like 20s, you just go, you explore, you see everything there is.
Yeah.
30, you get a bit more focused on stuff. And age of 40, this is the time really to execute. And age of 40 to 50, I think that at least for a man's life, this is the best years, I would say.
This is what someone told me, like the 40s are the new 20s.
No, they're 40s, man. 20s are 20s. I
mean, somebody told me that like the 40s are the new 20s. I'm like, I don't know, man. I mean, quite frankly,
bald hair is the new curls.
When I was 20, I could have like spent like 1 week no sleeping, and now like if I sleep like 7 hours, I'm already tired at 4 p.m.
Yeah, man. I used to drink like a motherfucker in my 20s, man. In my late teens, I would drink, man, until the morning. I would sleep 4 hours. I would wake up feeling like a truck hit me, and I would go to work.
Yeah, and you were okay. And they play football at the end of the day.
Yeah, exactly.
But now it's just, I don't have. That's why, like, I think the good thing out of that is like I think I control more the energy that I put into things, like putting more balance, because I know like okay, if I like overreact here, it will be like a huge expenditure of energy.
Yes.
That in my 20s I was like, no worries, I'll do that tomorrow, or I can, like don't sleep and blah blah blah. And now it's like if I'm not sleeping today, I'm like, it's over. Like the day
tomorrow
after
is not productive.
No, and that happens a lot to me. That thing. I used to work a lot more before, and now I gotta take some moments to chill out.
Yeah, this is important.
Yeah, because then I quickly realized that after 6 days of working, then kind of like you start like demotivating, like, oh man,
leave me alone.
I need to stop. Yeah,
I just want to be under the blanket. Leave me alone.
It's like this morning, that's why I'm also late. There's just some procrastination happening at some point.
Yeah, it's part of life. I think people, when they look at you, for example, you do a lot. And they think, oh, Federico is such a machine,
Do you really think
man?
I do a lot? Because, I mean, when I see others, I think, like, I don't know, like, I think I'm just a random guy,
But you're doing. So you're out there in the consciousness of the people in Berlin or in Los Angeles or everywhere you go.
Maybe because I smile or I tell them you're doing a great job, That's kind of like wherever I'm going, it's like you're doing a great job. It's like just being there. You're doing a great job. No, but I think like I kind of I don't know. Sometimes I feel like I mean that would be terrible if I would not be thinking that I'm doing something. I don't know, more and more. I have some ambition, like to actually take like the stuff that I do a little bit higher every day.
To do more every day. To get better every day.
To get better every day, for sure. I think like there are many, and I see all the time many things to improve. But still, like there are many things that I try and that are not really working. And it kind of like I do a lot of things, but I still see that okay, there's always some refinement to do.
Yeah, always.
Yeah. Always. And sometimes I think maybe I'm not doing that much, because like it takes these processes probably take longer to me than to other people. I think that many people, they do maybe the same, but they go faster when they do the stuff. And I usually tend to have like my projects are like there are many things, but they take like little improvements and they are improving through the time. And I'm more like into I'll try to do things consistently more than. I'm better at consistency than speed.
I think this is the most important. That's the powerful thing.
I believe now that's the paradigm. What I was telling you, the consistency of doing the podcast or the consistency of doing the videos. But it's really hard to keep up.
Yeah, that's why not everyone are maybe making it, basically.
True.
If it was so easy, everyone would make it. And it's all about consistency and improvement. But I think consistency, it's even more important than improvement.
I would say so. In many aspects, yeah, if you're consistent into something, then kind of like you improve it on the go without even like if you say, okay, I'm gonna do it every Saturday, whatever, then it kind of like if it becomes more natural to you, and then you quickly start knowing what's going on, that you're gonna be improving. But yeah, maybe I'm doing too many things and I don't know. No, I think like that on the Kiremico, yeah, we put a lot of effort there on the videos as well. I think now, like before, I used to spend more time. I mean, when you're doing many things, like sometimes you have less time to socialize. Like before, I used to spend more time when doing the videos with the artists and all the stuff. But then, like if you only do stuff, and then you start, it's like what I really miss. It's because I see that we're doing stuff. It's not that I feel like we're not doing anything. We're doing stuff, but sometimes I see that other people are really also like doing a lot of stuff. I think that the only issue when I see that if you're going too fast is like then you kind of start like maybe not socializing that much.
It depends on the person. For me, I'm not so socialized person in my core. So for me, if
you don't see yourself as somebody who socializes.
It's funny, because recently I've been everywhere, but I'm not such a social person. I really enjoy my time with myself, and I like to be with myself. I can practice my instruments, I can sing, I can learn.
True, I see this. I know.
I also love a lot of people around me, but I need doses. If I spend so much time with people, then I start to feel like my energy is being drawn away from me. And I will need to somehow come to myself, and then I just go to my cave.
That's an interesting stuff, because like I know that you have like this side of less gregarious, let's say sometimes, but still, I mean, when I think about you, like I like imagine if I would have to imagine, say I'm gonna bring Oja to a party, I got the feeling that you're gonna be talking to people.
Yeah.
There's some, and you're gonna be enjoying it, and
sure, man.
Some people maybe you invite them to a party and they're like, they don't want to talk to anybody, or they feel more like alone, or more introvert stuff. But like I think you more as an extrovert stuff. But you agree? I mean, you say that you would like to have some time off.
Yeah, most of my time I would like to have time off, or maybe to have like one-on-one interactions or small interactions with people.
Interesting.
Yeah, I feel I can be more with the person that I'm there. If there are a lot of people around me, sometimes I'm feeling I'm getting lost.
And oh, really?
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's my own perspective. Maybe it's my distortion of life. But I feel that every time there are a lot of people, so there are a few people who try to impress everybody. So they try to take all the attention to them.
Yeah, okay, yeah, that happens.
And sometimes it's just so superficial, and I feel like there is nothing they can offer me, and I feel bored, man. I feel bored. I feel I'm wasting my time, and I can fucking go and play guitar somewhere. I can have many stuff to do. I can learn new language.
Value added in the no. I think, if I can spend some time alone, but if I'm like too much alone, I started to think that I'm missing kind of like a connection with people. Like
that's for sure, man. I'm not completely by myself, but I appreciate my time alone sometimes more than I appreciate time with people.
It's okay. That's interesting. No. I mean, obviously, sometimes if usually I have like a lot of social interaction during my day. Mm-hmm. Especially, we were filming the things of the video for Kiremico, but then we were doing the other videos, the videos to be, which is like not related to music. All these videos for Amazon sellers and stuff. You always see like, the person who films, the actor, you just go here and there, location. Then I'm all the time talking to somebody. But still, like, if I can take one day of people, that's great. But like, I think one day is just okay. Then I kind of like have a lot I get more energy when talking to new people.
Yeah, some people are like that.
Than if I'm alone. Like if I don't, I think this year I've been doing a lot of meetups. I don't know, for some reason I tend to tell people like just go to random meetups. you know, like where like the topic is not your topic. Like I've been
out of the comfort zone place.
Absolutely. Like, I mean, I've been in whatever thing, like seriously, like this year, only just for the sake of like discovering something new, you know? And, you know, at the end, you always meet someone and you start talking, and then I got the feeling that clarifies my ideas way more when I'm talking to people and they ask you, you know, whatever, what you're doing, or maybe a thing like, what's your mission or what are you working towards? Kind of like once you repeat it like constantly, then you kind of like start feeling it more like, okay, I'm moving into this direction. And I'm all the time like, you know, telling people like, just go and meet something, you know, new people all the time. Which is considering that probably most of your audience are also musicians. I mean, I'm not a musician, but they are in the music. This is something that many musicians happen not to do.
To make good connections. Yeah.
They stay with the group of friends that they know from the bar they play or the people that they've been playing, etc. It's kind of like they loop in the same circle of people who are at some point just exhausted, you know?
Oh, you need new audience, basically, you mean?
Yes.
Yeah.
And even if it's not, I mean, if you're going to do open mics because you like, okay, just go to all open mics. So, you know, all the, you know, it's like, don't go to the same open mic over and over. Maybe just go to all of them until they kind of get, you know, but still, once you already did all the open mics, just do some other place where you can actually get on it, which is the main problem of musicians, how to get audience.
Yeah. You know, musicians... more than I know musicians in the city. You've been working with a lot of them.
You know, like more than working, because like filming musicians at the like number of musicians, individual musicians that were filmed are more than 500.
Yeah, man.
Which is a lot. But we interviewed only on the phone something like crazy, like 250 musicians in the since almost since we started, but I mean, I would say like in 250 musicians on the phone that we never filmed, but we actually talk to them on the phone. Like in the Kiremico group only, there are like 170, like in the WhatsApp, just to give you an idea.
Yeah.
Most of those 170 were like phone interviewed.
Oh, so no video at all, you mean?
No, yeah, we didn't do like a video of their live sessions, but we either it was like phone interview or video interview, but we also interview people from other parts that were not Berlin, so they're not part of that group. So when we counted how many actual interviews we had with musicians, it was like 230 something until the end of last year, from all the time that we've been spending time in Berlin.
Plus 500 videos.
Plus the 500 and plus not videos, but individual musicians. Video is something like 320. Wow, some were for our channel, which like 125 were for our channel. Some we put them off because they were like not relevant. The musician changed names, etc. And then some others were done for other channels or for the musicians. Like these sessions that we do, it's just musicians. That's why, like, to give them chance to all of them to actually get a video, we do it on half an hour basis. But by talking to musicians on the phone, I mean, plus the sessions, etc., there's a moment that you start finding some patterns, and people tells you kind of the same problematics that they go through,
the same challenges.
And not finding musicians, it's a not finding new audiences. It's a common challenge.
Yeah. How do you think they can find new audience?
Where they should find new audience?
Where and how? You come from a different place. You don't come from the musician swamp.
True. I mean, that's why I insist with the meetups. I mean, I know that like going to a Bitcoin meetup is not gonna make that much to a musician, because they're gonna say, okay, you know, I'm going there. It's like, you know, I'll just give you a silly example. But I mean, if I would be a musician, the first thing I would do is like try to collaborate on other musician communities as soon as possible, and have also like a process of how am I going to collaborate? Okay, let's say some people do not go that analytical into this, you know?
Yeah, people do not plan also their finance. They don't write the numbers down.
That they don't write the numbers down, that's just obvious. I mean, it's like in any profession, musicians, like usually they underestimate the financial consequences of this.
They ignore it, basically.
Especially on touring. I mean, how many people you know that they're like, oh yeah, I've been playing on this city in Zurich, and then I came back. Oh, and they pay me like X nominal price. They pay me like whatever, like a 3-digit number, like $600, just for saying this. I'm done. Yeah, okay. You get $600 pay for a gig, but you spend 2 days there. Then you went to another hotel. Then you eat something, and it's Zurich, and the cheapest kebab was 20 euros. And then you went for a meetup with it. And then overall, you were like, okay, $300 for these 2 days that you made profit, but then it's 150, so like $15 an hour. You didn't produce anything. How much audience you got from that? Did you happen to do some stories on Instagram that really moved the needle? So sometimes they focus on nominal things or vanity metrics, let's say, but it doesn't really help them to move the audience meter, let's say. So if you want to get a new audience, you need to pump the audience from somebody else.
Yeah.
You go and collaborate with somebody, and then you kind of have a little plan. Like, okay, let's write a song, or let's write a cover, or let's do something, in a specific amount of time, and then let's do some stories, and you share, I share, or you only collaborate with people that they are part of a label that you want to be part of. Let's imagine. Right, you like label A because it has like 3, 4, 5 artists. Maybe you contact other artists and say, hey, how's it going? You want to songwrite together? I'm just saying songwrite. I know it takes time, but once you start doing this again and again and again, then it just becomes like less time intense, and you know what you're looking for. You know how to approach people. Mm-hmm. But to achieve to that level of tactics that I'm going to be doing this or that, you probably need to have some sort of strategy, saying, okay, this is what I want to achieve, and then I'm starting, okay, if I want to achieve this, this is how I'm going to work towards that. And you need to get out of the group of friends that you hang around with, because there's like this social study report that is like, if you're with a group of 5 people, probably you're part of that average, whatever they're doing, like audience, salary, weight, etc.
Yeah, it's tell me who are the people that you spend most of the time with, and I can tell you
tell you who you are, yeah.
It's very strong. I really agree with that.
So usually what happens is like in musician silos, you see that people are spending a lot of time with exactly the same type of musicians, like they have the same problems. So at some point you need to break that loop and say, okay, I'm going to go and find some other group of people. Not that I'm leaving my friends behind forever, but just like, helping myself to
go into adventure, go into study,
to grow, I suppose.
And I think it's also good to not leave the friends, but go to hang out with people that you think are way over your league, way above your league, I would say. If it's the way they play, if it's the money they make, if the connection they make, whatever they do better than you, I think go there and learn from them. And then you can also bring it back to your old friends that you are committed to. And then you can also help everything grow.
But it's like, it's not like I'm leaving my friends for other people, but maybe you're just creating a new space for your friends where you can bring other people in and then kind of bring some stuff. Silly example. I mean, because I was telling you, I'm doing a lot of meetups, and I encourage people to just go to random meetups and meet random people. Just like, okay, get out of your comfort zone. And after I'm doing this, I started to kind of like get my closest friend in Berlin. Like, I see him most of the time. Every 2 weeks, I run a cinema club in which we're like calling other people who are doing short films. This is like not music related, just like, I solving a little bit the problem that I had, which was like I was not really into if I am alone, I'm not really sitting down and watch new films or watch a new short. But if I do it every 2 weeks and I invite my friends, I can still talk to my friends, have fun, see them, and also like get new content and meet new people who brings the shorts. I think like some people cool. Like like it's like making this guy William Chiaway or Matan, they were doing like the
The butterfly jam session?
Organizing these sessions like it's a butterfly. What's
Butterfly Collective, they were called.
Back in the days, like 2 years ago, they were doing
in Little Stage, I think it was.
In the Little Stage, yeah. I mean, you can actually bring some friends there and still like meet new people, and then they become friends, and they are still coming,
exactly.
and then you kind of like expand your network. I mean, Matan is a good example of how to be really quick at developing networks as well.
Yeah, he was 3 weeks ago on the podcast.
Yeah, I know. He was like number 9.
Number 9, exactly. Yeah, I think that this contest is still going on when we publish this episode.
The songwriting. Contest, yeah.
Which is very cool, and I'm very happy, and I'm very honored to do it with Matan.
Well, I mean, I want to know. I mean, what I was telling him, it's like he told me the other day. But how's I mean, whenever all these opportunities that you guys are doing, we can also send them through the newsletter of Kiremico, just to get some more awareness for you guys, because it's actually cool. I mean, there are many initiatives here in this city, but I think that many initiatives are also kind of paid, or it's like you have a lot of business going on with musicians. Here, like free opportunities and free stuff out of the government sphere.
Yeah, it doesn't happen. It doesn't exist.
It doesn't. It seems like it sometimes doesn't exist. I mean, or they are hidden, or I don't know. Like, I see a lot of these music board, initiative music and stuff, but it's kind of like, okay, we found you, but it's kind of like the government doing stuff. And sometimes, you can find some. It's hard to do it, but I think it's always. I mean, I'm happier when other privates, let's say, they are just doing something away from the government sphere. Like, okay, listen, we're doing between people, random people out there.
That's the whole idea of the podcast as well. I noticed there is no such podcast where someone is actually talking with people. It doesn't exist here in Berlin. And there are so many musicians. Everywhere you go, there are musicians.
Because it takes some consistency as well.
It takes some effort,
It takes effort. I mean...
But not even in German. It doesn't exist. I think
that
now
they are only doing with
musicians.
I don't know.
Musicians, or in general, just to have a conversation. Who is the person that is a host, or who is the person who is the guest of the show?
On the podcast level, no. I only know one guy who's part of the Kiremico group, Jerome, but he was doing interviews on the video. But it was not Berlin based. It was kind of like.
For me, it's also must be Berlin based. There is one singer. Her name is Selma Judith. She's from Copenhagen. She's so good, man. She plays harp. I've seen her and was skilled at playing.
Was she here at some point, or
on the podcast?
Or in Berlin?
I don't know, probably, but I'm not in contact with her.
Okay.
I wish to be in contact with her. She's such an incredible singer. But if I go to Copenhagen, then there is a lot of fucking talented musicians, and why not have them on the podcast? And this is my aim, actually. If I go to London, for example, so probably they're there. Tons of good musicians. And just to offer this service, it's musicians are very busy people usually. They always have something to do. But if they're not so busy, probably they get high with their friends or something. And it's difficult to get a musician talk to you one-on-one without offering them something. And I think this podcast is more like, come, I have some candies, come. And then I talk to them, I get to know the people. Some of them become good friends. Some of them are getting more support. Some of them, you can really see. In the future, I think it will be more clear for me. Maybe it's already clear to you, but you can see from the attitude.
Nothing is clear for me, you know what I mean?
It's it's a different problem. But you can see who is good, but not just good musician, but who is good in playing the game of life. And who can be on top of the game. And I'm just very curious to see where it's going to lead and what doors it can open for me.
I mean, if you do it, people come. I mean, not all the time if you do it, people come. So let me rephrase that. But I mean, if people sees you do it, and then like that you're providing some value, with goodwill, I would say, people usually wants to join in things that are moving. Usually there's more people waiting for somebody else to do stuff. I mean, if we would all, and it's fine, if we would all be doing something like crazy maniacs, then like nobody would join to anybody's part of project or whatever that is. But I think on a podcast level, which is something that is enjoyable to do, or at least I enjoy it because I like talking and like, chat. Some people do not like that chat that much, maybe, but you can enjoy these initiatives. And I think once you do it, people start knowing about this. Then it will be easier to get like other people on board that maybe at the very beginning they were kind of like, why would I join a podcast, you know? Give you a silly example. At the very beginning when I was doing Kiremico, it was exactly the same thing. Like that it's now. You get a video, you come over, we film you, period. No? There were like million questions from the musician, like, okay, but where is this? Where are you from? What are we going to shoot? Why are we going to shoot the video? Why this song? How many people know? I don't know what material you used. They were like, you know, when you're not doing anything, yeah, people don't want to like kind of join into your podcast or whatever. Once you start doing the podcast and people are like, okay, some other people broke the barrier of entry. Let's say they broke the ice. Then people just joins and they will call, you know, probably will want to participate into this stuff. I mean, you're not going to be able to podcast them all.
No, I'm very limited to how many people.
But that's, I mean, it's not scalable unless you have like a full radio with millions of microphones, you know.
Yeah, scalable in this amount. Yeah, you're right about it. But I think the way you can scale up podcast is to provide value, and the more value you provide, then you can scale it up business-wise. It's very interesting concept, podcast. You know, the internet is very interesting because in the internet time you don't need to do a lot of stuff. You need to do one thing, and this one thing needs to perform again and again and again and again and again and again.
It pays off. I think I mean, you can do many things over and over, but if you don't tweak them at some point, I mean, it depends on what you want to achieve, right?
It's not what I mean. I mean, let's say, for example, you make a lecture. So you have a lecture, you can go around the country,
yes.
Go to a school, make a lecture here, make a lecture here, make a lecture here. How much will you charge for a lecture? Let's say you charge 500 euros, in a good time. So you go, I don't know, but 500 and all costs on you. But what if you...
2.5.
2.5.
No. Can I?
Yeah, of course, man. Go for the clementine. I got one bag of clementine from a Turkish supermarket.
That was why the clementines.
Yeah, they were like 2 kilos of 3 kilos. So I make sure they're not bad. There is a reason.
Looks good.
Yeah, they're tasty as hell, man.
Maybe one of them is a little bro, but doesn't matter. What doesn't kill you
makes you stronger.
You were telling me about the podcast.
Yeah, I was telling about the podcast, and I was telling about the fact that what I was telling about the clementine fact. Yeah, I got lost. What I was talking about.
No, you were explaining all the fact of having consistency on the podcast, and if you do it again and again, and I told you
true,
like,
yeah. So we talked about the lectures.
Yeah.
So you can go physically and give lectures, but what if you record yourself one time, and then you can put it in the internet, but for way less price. So you're not limited to how many things you can do physically, but you're more limited to how many people are watching your video, and considering the fact that people can watch the video everywhere they are. Anytime they want, they don't need to come and see you especially. They can do it from the house, wearing boxers or kangaroo onesie. You know, and this makes everything more efficient. That's where you can scale up. And now you can see it. I think it was in the last years. You have all this trend from all the big universities. All of a sudden, they have online courses, and they teach you everything. You can study in Harvard, and you can get like an online certificate, and you get the same quality of knowledge they will teach you if you go physically there, but you don't need to apply, you don't need to pay a lot of money. Also, the professors who are giving the lecture, they're not getting paid to teach you because they already got paid for recording the video, and that's it.
I think like it is true that, you know, internet makes it more democratic for everybody, democratization of this content. Still, something that happens is like, or I believe like, networking matters a lot.
That's the most important,
right? Because I use Coursera for you know, like what you were saying, these university things, or do you have like edX or Coursera, or do you have like a Coursera, you know, and Luz, you know, my colleague, she's also like doing training on that. Like we're trying to at least like get constant training of project management, stuff like this, things that we do in Kiremico that are useful for us. But then like there's this factor, especially music, like the peer-to-peer, like knowing the people, talking to them, having a beer, a conversation off. That's something that's really hard for the internet to replicate. The human connection in like many things are super easy to do, but then when you go to the especially, I don't know what you think, but I mean in the music space, people, they kind of feel like, okay, I want to record here, you know, or I want the producers. You could actually choose a producer on the other side of the Atlantic if you want to, in terms of cost and maybe in terms of speed. But people also chooses to work with a producer that maybe local, and they understand, you know, what they do, and they know them, and they hang around with their buddies. There's this thing of like, okay, technology can solve so many things, you know, and globalization as well. But then when it comes to some like meeting people, you know, sometimes it's like, okay, well, you know, it's like the podcast, you know, most of the people you are podcasting, I suppose that you met them before.
Not really. Some of them I never met. And I met them first time.
And you invite them and say, okay, sorry for that.
I talk with them on the phone. I say, what's up? There was one band that I actually had a podcast planned, and they did not show up.
Oh, really?
That was only one. I don't know them.
You didn't know
them? Yeah, I never met them. We just talked on the phone, you know, and they sent me a message, and then it just disappeared. So it's weird.
They said, can we be part of the podcast?
Yeah, and they sent me a message. I told them, yeah, let's do a phone call. Let's see who you are. I can tell you about the podcast.
Yeah.
And then a week before the podcast, usually I just, hey, remember we have a podcast. And that's it. Nothing. You don't hear reply, nothing.
You had the coffee and the clementines.
Yeah, man. It was psychedelic clementines. Hey, funny stuff. And you see them keep on publishing stuff on Instagram, and then I sent another message, you know, maybe they missed it. But no, nothing. No
was it an Instagram message? An Instagram DM?
Yeah.
That's kind of funny.
What's funny about it?
No, I mean, it's kind of funny, like, not hilarious funny. It's kind of like, you know, they just...
Ironic.
Yeah, it's kind of...
Well, what is the irony about
maybe
it?
It could have been saying, like, I don't know, whatever, like, sorry, we've confused the dates, or but they still be a band, right? They're still working as a band.
Yeah, they're still working, they're still publishing, you still see stories, going up, you see posts. Active.
Was that at the very beginning of the project? Or was kind
it was supposed to be last week, actually. The podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe they were like a bot or like a social media manager talking to whatever, and they were, no, we don't want to be part of it, which is cool.
I don't know, maybe, but tell me something. You know, now this band got a bad reputation from my side, so if
maybe there were like some people that I was about to film. I know I made some mistakes, for example, doing the interviews. Like, I mean, that my calendar was not properly connected or some shit that I missed appointments at some moment. I mean, if you start interviewing people like 250, you know, at some point there are some fuck ups. Same with the videos.
Must
you know,
be, man. At least 10%
it's impossible to actually like do so many videos and not having a fuck up. I mean, I had like at least like 5 stories of like, oh, this video went wrong.
What is the worst one?
About these stories, I mean,
the one that went the most wrong.
No, there were like different ones. Like the very first video we did in the first tour, like in Europe, like we filmed one woman in London that she was not be able to actually come with her band. We filmed her and the video was great and it was so much fun, high-fiving, etc., etc. Okay, so we're going to be publishing the video, and she's like, sorry, but I talked to my band members, we don't want to publish the video. Okay, cool, fuck it, you know, shit, you know, because you spend too much. And actually, you know, at the very beginning of something where you're doing it, you take longer to do the whole thing. So it was a full afternoon in London, you know, we're looking for places and so on and so forth. And you're thinking, shit, we could have like filmed someone else, you know.
Yeah.
I had a guy once here in Berlin also that, you know, sends me the music. I'm like, hey, this is really cool. You know, it's like, I like this stuff, whatever. We organize, boom, we go to the studio. that day Gustavo could not come over, so I asked him, like, hey, do you think your guitar player could help me with the sound card? Yeah, sure, no worries. She has a computer. Okay, cool. It's like, okay. So I was kind of like filming. There was like the Diana who sometimes helps with the lights, and she was like putting the lights. I can ask it, but I didn't know that this performer was gonna bring makeup person and different setup options for change. Like our videos are like way more relaxed than.
Oh, they were full production there.
These guys, they brought like 2 makeup people who were like there and they didn't want to move, but the vibe was not there. When you're
the what was not there?
The vibe was not there. We're having some issues with the audio as well. We're not able to.
So everything was slow and stuck.
Everything was there, and we ended up like with kind of like not gluing on the vibe. Me with the performer. Then when the other band members that he hired, this
was it a free offer from you?
They don't know, full free offer like a normal Kiremico video. Like I spent 280 euros on that thing between the lighting, the Ubers and stuff. And the performer kind of got like into stardom mode, like, oh, I'm a star and I should do this now. And no, let's film again. And this is not ready. I don't know. He was just pulling some stuff, like.
Was he a real star? Was he famous? People knew him?
No. Nobody really knows him. I mean, nothing that. I mean, probably, I don't know. Let's say 1,500 followers on Instagram. Best case scenario, 1,000 Spotify listeners, maybe with the help of some ads. He had some nice video production, but all paid by himself.
Okay.
But some people switches, if they want to get a video performance or something like that, and then he was kind of like, didn't get we filmed the video, we did different takes, there was not a good vibe, and then I say, hey, I'm not going to publish this. Like, it's my loss, it's fine. I fucked it up once with a band, like my gimbal was broken, it was a band, it was in Castellan Spring. We tried to shoot the video. I kind of did something. It was like there were like a 4-people band. My gimbal got broken on that moment, and I tried to do something different, and that different didn't work out that good. I was kind of like doing some fast moves with the camera, and it was not that as good. And they were like, we don't know if we want this video. I'm like, okay, I see, guys. I mean, I fucked it up. It's okay. I'm sorry about that.
It's a great feeling. It doesn't feel good, but it's a great feeling. The sour feeling of failure.
Sometimes, like in some sessions, I've been, it's like it really depends on the artist. I mean, that also teaches you, who you're going to be collaborating, how you're going to be doing your, like, let's say, due diligence on that project. Because sometimes, especially when you're doing something which has no cost. Some people sign up, but they don't really give a shit. I mean, some people, they care about the stuff you're doing. They understand, okay, listen, this is it's not like those many opportunities out there. Maybe jumping on a podcast, same. It's your time and you're giving it away for the pleasure of doing it, right? In our case, it's true. Like, I mean, somebody's actually... not all the videos, but many of the videos are paid by the sponsor, but those who are in the Kiremico channel, not necessarily. It's just like money that we're putting there just for filming and growing the channel, right? Not big bucks, but it's like going there, paying a Uber, for stuff. It's like, I mean, it's the effort, the time, the sound, the audio. It's like, it's just a quick bundle of $300. That I could invite my friends dinner, if that would be the case, or we could do marketing for other videos that we film. But it happens like, I mean, a very small percentage of people eventually sign up and they don't really give a shit and they want to do something like this, like that, or and they can give you like shit, but it's like only like less than 1% of the people,
Yeah, usually it's very small percentage. Usually people really respect.
But could happen that you send them a message and they don't show up.
Yeah,
it's like there's gonna be always one of or a musician who did not show up to a session. Yeah, that's also.
Yeah, this is not. It's not good. Shit, I forgot the word. The reputation that you have as a human, as a person, is just decreasing the moment that you don't do those kind of stuff. When you don't communicate correctly, if you plan something, even if it's your example, when you missed something, you can send a message afterwards like, oh shit, I missed it. I had a lot of stuff. Somehow it got between.
Something like tasks. That. Something like that.
Yeah, but if you don't come back at all, it's been a month. No, it's been 5 months. Where is Federico? Still doing stuff, but I did not show up for my session. What the fuck?
Yeah, no. It's terrible. I think like then you're gonna like. I mean, the more we've been doing, the more you do the stuff, then you kind of start like first measuring appropriately who's a potential problematic collaborator.
What kind of things do you measure when you want to know if this person is serious or is going to make some trouble?
I mean, on the real level, you can never predict that, I would say. But I mean, what we do is like when we're gonna be doing the sessions, we put them in a group in WhatsApp. There's like this, like if we're gonna be organizing a session, let's say like we did last week. Okay, as soon as they sign up, we kind of check, the requirements of the audio. We put them all in a WhatsApp group. So there's like for that session. So there's also like an additional like communication, like, okay, you can't miss. And we tell them like 2 days in advance, like, okay, guys, make sure that you guys know your schedules is at this time. Like the worst you can do, it's like in the morning say, oh, I'm not going to go. It's just I cannot find anybody. And somebody missed a spot that they could actually get it,
Yeah.
So we try to avoid these things. Then the interviews, these 250 interviews on the phone, the real purpose at the beginning was actually to interview musicians that I could say, okay, this person has a plan. This person, is not gonna. How many musicians do you know that they are like, oh yeah, we're playing with this band, it's awesome, it's gonna be so cool and whatever. It's like, well, okay, when did you guys start? Like, 3 months ago. Okay, maybe it's too soon,
When it's fresh.
When it's fresh, yeah. I mean, now we just put for the Kiremico. I mean, we're gonna start refilming musicians for our channel because we've been filming musicians for the musicians channel or the brand channel. Like in the last 6 months, we did not film for our own channel. We just filmed for other partners' channel. We made like 50 videos in the last 6 months. None of those for our channel.
Well, how many channels do you have? How do you separate them?
The Kiremico is the channel. Then we film for the musician channel. We give the video for the musician, just for keeping. At some point, like I mean, we have more people who could be filmed than opportunities.
Mm-hmm.
So at some moments we say, okay, listen, we got like an interface that we could use. It's okay, let's film 14 musicians in one full day. I mean, filming 14 musicians, man, it's like every half an hour. It is pretty freaking intense.
Yeah, and your energy starts to go throughout the day.
The last
people come with full energy.
Hopefully the last musician is your friend. So you can say like, come on, I don't know, like Tim from Dana.
You also plan it, so the most difficult people in your opinion will be first ones, since you have all the energy in the beginning.
We don't have some, I mean, if somebody's gonna, I mean, sometimes it's randomly and you say, okay, hopefully the last one is a friend or somebody that I know, so I can be like on a lower level of energy and tell him like, come on, man, just plug the guitar and smash it, man. One take, It's like, because if you say that to somebody you don't know at the beginning, they could be like, oh, okay, that's too much pressure. Who's this guy? It's like, and I can be particularly, I wouldn't say aggressive, but I'm very determined. Like, okay, let's get the stuff done. Some people are more like, easygoing.
They
but
need some candles.
I'm more nice. Like, come on, let's get stuff done as soon as possible.
And to give them a blowjob so they feel comfy.
So like, it's like, okay, it's gonna be fine. It's like, but I could be for some people like very like, okay, let's do it. But what I was saying is like, the Kiremico is the main, but every time we post it on Kiremico, that also requires some energy, that the musician gets the comments. You've been through this.
Yeah, right? Man. It's a big production when the song is
so it's actually, we put more emphasis in the promotion than the production. So when we start switching, was like, okay, rather than filming everybody to the channel, let's just film people, let's give them the video, a watermark, and that's it, or for the brand. And then we help the musician to, move their video through the same checklist, promotion, etc. But now we're going to restart filming for the Kiremico channel. And there's like some minimum thresholds that we're going to, be based with the musician. Like, okay, 2,500 Instagram followers, like 500 monthly Spotify listeners, and 200 YouTube subscribers. Kind of like something that we are confident enough that if you've been working on your project for 2-3 years, it's not like a huge account, but at least consistent enough.
It minimizes the risk that you take.
Yeah, at least for like filming people that, now for the sessions that everybody can come and sign up, that's great. Whoever needs a video, you get the video. Some people, if they sign up twice, it's like, okay, it's good. Like I'm twice, get the video. But you're faster than anybody else. Here's a very democratic opportunity. You can take it or not. If you take it faster, well, that's good. Just taking the case of Adar. He's from Israel. I don't know if you know him.
Adar, what's his last name?
Al-Fadi.
Yes, I know his brother. We performed together, like not in the same band.
Okay, well.
Also with him, actually, I think. Yeah.
Well, Adar, he's like, he gets the opportunities really quick. He's it's like I'm all the time saying, like, we made a contest. Who wins the guitar? Adar. It's like, okay, this guy.
Yeah, he's working good, man. I've seen him all over the place here.
He's touched by the magic one. It's like, this guy gets them all, and it's fine. Like we are not like telling. If we have a session and they sign up again, that's fine. Bring another song and it's cool. Yeah. Like for me, it's more like, okay, like if you are like getting the opportunities, okay, we give you the opportunities because you're kind of like pushing also your luck towards like, okay, I want to get more videos and songs. That's great. This is what the channel is for. Some other people don't get it. They think too much. I don't know this time. I don't know this. It's like, just freaking get the spot and come over, play the guitar. It's just content.
Yeah, do damage control afterwards.
How damageable could be? The truth, sometimes...
Not really damage control, but you know what I mean. For me, for example, it was a good reflection when
I'm going to get one of these.
Go for it, man. There are plenty of...
Your tangerines.
I remember the first video we did was like a live version to I've Got It All. And... yeah. This one, it was the first time I was filmed and made a video of anything that was me
in the bridge. In the bridge, in the
bridge underneath.
Schönhaus,
right? Yeah, just in the middle between the streets. And we looped that. You can hear the cars coming to the mic while being looped.
Oh yeah,
it was horrible, but man, it was good. Afterwards, a good friend of mine, Tehona, she's Israeli violin player. And she's an incredible singer. And she saw the video, and she's a really good friend of mine. And just because she got so much love, she said, "You're not such a good singer, but I would like to do some sessions with you." So we did sessions, man, like weekly, sometimes even twice a month, But we did sessions, and she taught me really how to sing. And that was my biggest jump since then in vocals. She just gave me some core things to practice on. And I still do it today, and it just accelerated my skills. And this is thanks to the video. Also, the second video that we did, if you remember, I was with the ganja shirt. It was next to the river.
In the river, that was actually maybe better recorded, I guess. The first like, insane amount of cars.
Yes, it was really bad.
The place was noisy.
And also it was very gray, and it was not a beautiful day.
Originally, I don't know if you remember, we were planning to film in the bridge.
Yes, we want to do it in the bridge.
And it was raining.
It was raining, true, yeah.
But sometimes you got to do it where you go.
Yeah, you have to find your spot, In theory, everything is nice and comfortable, but when you actually go for the stuff...
I don't remember why it was so noisy. I'm trying to figure out why.
I think the acoustics. Because you're in the middle and you have a lane to the right, a lane to the left. And I think when the cars are driving, then the sound goes up. And then somehow the acoustics... amplify it, like a church.
There was a loop as well.
It was also looped, yeah.
Yeah.
It was difficult to get studio conditions. But then on the second one...
We did it, man. We did it.
Yeah, but look on the second one. For me, that was the most embarrassing performance I was captured. But not because I performed it bad. That was also me in the beginning of my voice adventures. But also here, I don't know if you remember, I had this thing on my head.
What's up with that?
It's been gone.
It's been gone?
Yeah, look, there is nothing there.
Yeah, what happened? But you took it away.
Yeah, with the kitchen knife. No.
I was like, what?
What is it called? Like a cyst. It's a fat, basically.
It's fat, yeah.
Yeah, it's fat. And the way it looked, people can go and look right now, actually, if they go to Kiremico channel. Is it still there or you took it off?
No, I think it's still there.
Yeah.
I mean, if we remove videos, it's just because they have like some low views or some stuff like that at some point. But the video is there.
Yeah, so you can.
But I need to check. I mean, I thought it was like a birthmark. Like I didn't know exactly what the hell that was. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it was just fat that was growing. This is the second time I had it also growing, but this was I was just ignoring that. Also, I did not have any insurance in Germany.
So you could not actually took action to that.
What?
But you took it away. I mean,
I took it away in the end because I realized, now I have insurance. Let's do that.
I want to see that.
You want to see everything in a jar, what was inside.
That's just like they kind of like to cut it. It's
they open the skin a bit and then they take the fat out. And
so
then
interesting.
They not really sewing it. They have these stickers they put.
Yeah, it's probably very like stretched, right?
I have no idea.
I know, but once you take it out, it's kind of okay.
It's loose actually if you take it out.
So it's not dangerous actually.
No, it just the way it looks a bit strange. It looks like I have a cancer growth on my head, and I'm also bald.
No, it looked like I mean, I know what you mean. Like the thing, I thought it was a water, like a birthmark type of thing. But
in the video, you can really see it in the video.
It been really growing.
Yeah, it's got bigger and bigger. Also, have some friend of mine. They gave it a name, man.
we're not about the looks here, man. We're about the music.
Yeah, but still, you look at yourself and you think, what the fuck do I have on my head?
Do you think that Kiremico should be responsible, or you should have brought a hat?
I should have brought a hat, definitely. In the first video, I have a hat. Second one was too hot for a hat.
It was a hat like a beanie type of
thing. Bunny hat?
Yeah.
Not to blame Kiremico, actually, I'm very happy because when I saw that was the point when I thought it looks bad. I need to take it off.
The architecture was great, man, on the second video, right?
The architecture was great.
I mean, like,
and the river.
It was a super sunny day.
It was an amazing place. The spot was incredible. The video that you did was incredible.
That was fun.
Also, the shirt that I was wearing was incredible.
We faced some difficulties, right, at some point or not? I mean, I'm trying to think. No, we should have in 3 takes.
Yeah, we did 3 takes. It was pretty smooth.
Yeah. Then we did some pictures. It was a summer day. It was really nice, man. That day. It was we did some pictures on the back side of the thing for the spider guitar. Remember?
We also did for the spider. Yeah,
that was the spider, that guitar.
And I still have it, the spider guitar. It's such a legendary guitar.
You have it, a black
it's right
one.
There, yeah.
Man, that's priceless, dude. I mean,
this guitar, wow, what a guitar!
I think the playability it's like a bit weird sometimes, but I think the effects really compensate.
The playability is really good on this guitar.
You like it? I got the feeling it's a little hard. Maybe the strings or something.
Maybe it's a setup thing.
Yeah, but I sometimes. I mean, sometimes I use it, even if I'm not a guitar player. Like most of the time, I'm playing the bass now. But sometimes when I use it, I'm like, this is so fucking awesome. They have like these effects. I don't know any other guitar like
for
this.
those who don't know, there is a speaker inside the guitar.
Yeah.
And you can choose effects. You can choose reverb, delay, chorus.
And wah.
And wah, yeah. And it sounds incredible. If someone doesn't know...
The delay, it's amazing. I mean, all of them are cool.
The guitar is beautiful, yeah.
The guitar is beautiful, yeah. It's kind of interesting. And, it's... Well, the guy is focused to sell that in China, but I mean, I think like if he would sell it here, it would be interesting.
Yeah, we tried to sell it here. It was very difficult.
Andre did a better job as a sales guy, but I know why. He sold them all. Really? And because he's a guitar teacher.
Oh, that's easy.
So it's easier when you're like connected with many other people. And the funny thing is like, I went to the school, to his school, and made a video there. Like an not opening, but like a closing ceremony of the year, whatever, like kind of like guitar rock school concert.
Cool.
No, it was not a guitar rock school. It's just a normal school. But they do like a presentation at the end of the year. And I was like really amazed by the fact of I'm like, shooting this kid with the camera, and then I see that he has a spider guitar.
Nice. Which one? Which color?
Like not black, but kind of like the dark, like super dark, the super dark green.
Oh, the green one.
Yeah,
really nice.
He actually had like different colors. And there was one which was like the super dark green one. And yeah, when I saw him, I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I mean, like this kid does not know like all the stuff that we film. Like for these spider guitars, I mean, you were one of those, but then the very first time that we filmed them, we did like 6 videos, and that was the very proper sessions in Berlin was done thanks to this Spider guy.
Oh.
We filmed like six musicians, and that's where the first summer that I've been here in 2011. We filmed like 3 women and 3 dudes. Yeah, and this is funny because thanks to that session, that's the origin of the Kiremico WhatsApp group. Because I put them all together to say, hey, we're gonna be doing a contest. Those who actually happen to have the highest amount of views in a specific period of time, you are gonna get the guitar for free.
Nice. Yeah, that was also when we did the first video. It was with the case. So the one that got most videos will win a case, and it was a cool case.
You were almost there, dude. But
yeah, and then Laura won.
No, not Laura. Laura won another thing.
Oh, she won the ukulele case.
She won the like a really nice speaker that broke. She broke it, man. If Laura ever listens to this, I mean, she will have to know that she broke it. I don't know what she did. Something I remember.
She's a tough woman.
And it was like, I don't know, like,
not really,
no, she connected something or something blew up. I don't remember how was that.
Is it Laura or the speaker? Is it Chinese quality or is it EU made in China quality?
I mean, I don't know. We should ask her again. But no, apparently, no, she was connecting something that eventually was not an acoustic guitar. I mean, it was like, I don't know, something like that. I don't remember.
It was the portable speaker, true.
We tried to actually ask this brand. It was like a whole mess to actually bring that board. And it's like, okay, whatever. You know, I'm sorry, Laura. Next time, we're going to try to get her another stuff. But she also got the ukulele bag. I don't remember. Maybe she got. But also somebody that I feel Laura. And the speaker thing, yeah, the guitars. No, you were almost, dude. You were like a few views away from
I remember.
A musician named Telomere from the US. She gave it a last mile, man. She gave it a last mile. It was like you were almost there. I thought you were like about to win, but in the last days, they overtook you. You were sleepy, needing meat.
Yeah, I was sleepy in this time.
doing podcast or something, and boom. But
how was your impression from me in this time? Was I active? Was I more sleepy?
No. It's a good impression. No. Yeah? I've been working with people that to promote they don't want to do anything.
Yeah, that's a weird place to be as a musician.
But it's a needed place to be because it's like people are like, oh no, you know, I have my own things about promotion. The more they tell you about this,
their own agendas about promotion.
Yeah, some people have their own agendas, and also we tell them before, like in advance, okay, we're gonna film you. It's gonna be like this. Like I don't, especially when people have like 50 views, 70 views, and 0 comments, or 3 comments and 5 likes, and they're like, no, I wanna, I don't wanna bother anybody. I mean, if you don't want to, elbow your way, just to whatever, it's like. People are not gonna come to you, like saying, "Oh my God, my friend did this," or my nephew did these amazing songs. I mean, you kind of need to give people exactly guidelines what you want them from them.
Yeah.
Otherwise, they're not. I mean, it's not that they're thinking, "Oh wow, so she just released a video," or "This guy just released a track, so I gotta like it and then share it." And then, like in 5 weeks, I'm gonna make a post. They don't freaking care. They're thinking of something else.
No one cares about my music.
No, the only way they will care is when you do it consistently, and they will see that it's growing, and they will listen to it at some point. Maybe you can send them like 5 links until one day they say, "Okay, I'm gonna listen to this."
Yeah, there is no one waiting for them to release any song.
No, you need to just get elbow your way to wherever you want to go. Otherwise, like, nobody's going to do it for you. But some people are like, no, I don't want to share. I don't want my... Okay, well, stay on the same thing you are now.
Are they the same people who then complain that there is no money in the music industry?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, many of them, they complain, oh, I wish to do this and that, but just go do it, I mean, it's not that it's like musicians are like that. It's like in every industry.
Yeah, it's human.
You have people like this. Some people just complain. They don't want to change their flow. And if you are scared to asking people to do something towards what you really believe it's important to you, I mean, how important is it?
Yeah, what are people willing to do in order to go wherever they want to go? And it depends from a person to person, but what are you willing to do to improve your life? That's
they're
the
like
question.
nothing, or there's just like really minimum changes, or like, but I think the fact of asking people in every aspect of life, like, hey, I need your help. Can you do this stuff for me? People kind of likes to jump into the mission of somebody else if they know that they're being helpful.
Yeah.
Like if somebody comes over and says, hey, dude, I'm doing this. Like, could you really help me? To just like, it won't take you hours. It's just a like. It's just a comment. Sure.
Yeah, just to approach.
And you say, hey, I did it. Okay, thanks much, man. I really appreciate it. You don't know how much this helps me. Yeah, sure, man. Whenever you need something, let me know. I don't know. I get happy when people are doing something and they're like, hey, dude, could you help me on this tiny thing? Like, it's not going to take you like 5 hours. You know, I'm just asking you for like 30 seconds, one like, one comment. It's enormous.
Yeah, you know, I heard this thing. Someone was complaining about the contest that me and Matan are doing because we do it for free. we offer money basically.
What was the perk? What's a price, or how's the dynamics? Wait, remind me.
So it goes like this. There are 3 prizes.
Yeah.
All of the prizes, the value is 2,500 euros.
Cool.
In services that we provide, Matan and I.
Okay.
First prize will be 1,500 value. So it's going to be recording drums. It's going to be recording guitars, bass.
Cool.
Having some production session, studio time, of course. Also mixing the song, photo shooting.
Yes.
And also release plan.
Good.
So all of this,
yes,
it's worth a lot.
Okay.
You want to take part in the contest. You're a musician. If you listen right now, you want to be in the...
They complain about this.
They complain because it's too much. We really want to see that people support us because we give stuff. There is no problem to give stuff to people, but we also would like to get the bare minimum back.
What would be the complaint, actually? I'm not really sure what.
If you want to be eligible, that's the word. So you need to go to the Instagram of Matan, follow. Instagram of Son of a Pigeon, follow on Spotify, both of us, also on Facebook. And we want to know that you did it, so please make a screenshot and send it to us.
Okay, screenshot. Okay, that's the exchange.
And I already heard a complaint. Oh, why would I do that? What would I like? What? Am I a robot? What the fuck? You know? Do you really want to win? Do you really want to have any chance? It's only 1 minute to do that. Even less than 1 minute.
But I think like if you send it to 100 people, there will be always 2 or 3 who bitch.
But I think this is a mindset that some people have, and if by any chance someone who is listening right now when you got this mindset, it's like you're fucking yourself in the ass, basically. Unless you like it, no judgment. It's Berlin, it's very open. But
no, frankly speaking, if I do something like that, like an initiative like that, and people start complaining because like you don't have to do it. You know, it's like. Some people, they are like, they want to get the stuff as accessible and for them only, and they don't want to do it. So like those 30 seconds that they could lose, they come over and tell it to you. You're I don't I don't want to say blacklisted, but I mean, at least you're like kind of like, I'm not going to ask you to any collaboration, or I'll be like already biased that you're a pain in the ass, dude.
You don't want to support me. Why would I ever want to work with you?
It's just, you start from a bad ground, you know? Especially for something that, if you tell me, okay, hey, I pay you $5,000 and I didn't get the whatever recording, okay,
makes sense.
That's another thing. But okay, listen, we're doing even a contest, okay, like still maybe it's because it could well be because it's the first time, so people like when they see something that's just from scratch, they have. Not all of them, but some people would have a tendency of thinking this is a scam or whatever, you know.
Of course, it's a scam.
And it's like
free stuff. It's a scam.
It's like, oh, it's free. It's a scam. Maybe you do it.
How do you think people can be scammed in this manner of a contest? We take the precious demo and we're gonna use it.
Well, I actually know a musician which is a musician that was at some point in Berlin, but then he's not from Berlin based. But I actually happened to meet him, the guy.
And what happened with him?
Well, he was putting win 100 euros to follow the Spotify, and actually he was in his Instagram win 100 pounds. He's from the UK. Win 100 pounds. Kind of funny, but kind of lame at some point. But It's kind of like he had like a marketing mindset. So he like win $100 to actually go into Spotify. So people will go and like the Spotify. There was no such contest behind, and nobody really asked, how am I gonna get the $100? You know, it was like an open-ended.
People did the follow and got
some people did follow, but nothing really happened. But I mean, if you say like win $100 to follow me on Spotify, I mean, no rulings, whatever. People were just going liking. It was kind of like funny at the same time. And I'm not saying that the guy was like scamming you. I mean, it's probably he was trying to actually develop a call to action. But I think overall, every time you do something I mean, I'm not saying everybody's scamming. What I'm saying is like there could be a scam, but they're rare. And then on the other hand, like every time you do something for the very first time, as you know, people will like try to, you know, they kind of like on their trust mode more alert because you don't have like a previous example. But once you have the previous example, that's it. But I think like it's a thing that I was explaining before. Like when I was looking for musicians in anywhere, the first time I was looking for musicians for the Kiremico. Like we did the first videos in China, and they knew me because I was part of these artists or these concerts. Then when I get out of China and I went to France look for musicians, people were like, "Who are you? Why you are gonna film me? Why this guitar? Why you want to do it there? Why me? Which song? Where are they gonna be? What are they gonna release?" There are like a million questions. Now I don't need to explain that much. Like, I mean, obviously, like we put like more information. There are more videos out there. If you ask, you have thousands of musicians here in Berlin, but you know, there are chances that maybe one of their friends already filmed a video with us or they collaborated with us. So it's kind of like easier.
Is your phone?
No, my phone is off.
Is it my phone? Where is it vibrating from? Maybe we'll also take a break. I need to pee.
Let's get a coffee.
Yeah, let's do a break.
I'm like, let's get a
We are back. I don't know what we talked about.
We're back, yes.
For us, it was a long time ago. For you people who listen, it was a few seconds ago.
Yeah.
It always fucks me up.
Right after the advertisement. It was like, we're going to a quick commercial and we'll be back.
Commercial. There is a song contest, songwriting contest right now.
We were talking about this. The song contest, actually.
But people being suspicious about it.
People are suspicious when you're not doing things and they're like, this is too good to be true or whatever, you know?
But sometimes it is. Yeah.
Sometimes it's too good to be true.
Just make your research, I think. That's all you need to do. Make the research. See who is the person. And if it looks a little bit fishy and you think there are not much details, probably it is. But if you can see who the people are, you see they are real humans. You can notice this. We have beautiful instincts that we can use for this kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, if you're thinking there's going to be a scam, they will scam you. I got the feeling. I mean, you kind of brought...
Yeah, and all the times I was scammed, I knew I was being scammed. I was just telling myself, no, it can be not a scam. It can be something really good. This time I won, but somewhere in the back of my head, I knew I'm getting
You trust your guts, man. I mean, if you're all the time thinking about trouble, there will be trouble. I mean, you bring it with your mind.
Yes. If someone offers you something, go see what is it.
It's very crazy. Unless it's Kiremico, right? Which there's no scam.
No. Or son of a pigeon. No scams.
Son of a pigeon, right? Or Matan no hat contest. No, it's a son of a pigeon contest.
No, it's also Matan. It's Berlin Songwriter Contest.
Berlin Songwriter Contest. Okay, good.
Yeah. I think you can also look it up on Google. Probably.
On Facebook now as well.
Also Facebook, Instagram, everywhere. We're everywhere.
No, you were saying something. The pitch. No. What did you tell me for? Like the tips for musicians.
Yeah, I think maybe before we finish here, we can do some brainstorming on what actions musicians can take and what kind of mindset should they start
True.
developing.
I think that the number one is like that one. Take action.
Take action.
It's like, I think. I usually make a very clear distinction into musicians and music enthusiasts. Either you're a full-time musician or then like you might be a music enthusiast, because like if you're gonna be a musician, that's like any profession that you decide what you want to be.
What is a musician? How would you describe
a full-time musician is a person who actually lives doing music not having a side job or something that's not related to that industry. But still, I mean, if your goal is to create songs or create music that brings value, like spiritual value to people, then you should be writing songs and creating value to people. Like a teacher, it's a teacher, you know what I mean? I mean, I think that like sometimes it's like, oh yeah, musician's a job, whatever. I mean, one thing is a teacher, one thing is a musician. Like, I mean, and musician does not mean it's like I have to be on the stage. You could be a songwriter in the dark alleys of on the industry, or you can be a beat maker, but you're doing beat maker. I think like the most important thing is to focus in anything, whatever you do that you like.
But this is all cliches. What do you mean focus on anything? Focus on anything that you do. What do you mean by that?
Take the risk in life. I mean, if you're thinking like, okay, listen, I'm doing something. First of all, to be focused, you need to define what you should be focusing on. Okay, I mean, I think before focusing on something, you should decide on what am I going to be focusing on, and to decide what am I going to be focusing on, you need to decide what do I want to become, I guess. If you don't know what you want to become, okay, well, anything could be focusable, Like, where are you going? I don't know. Point, okay, man. So then go left, right, whatever. Who cares?
Who cares? Goal? You have some kind of goal.
A goal, a vision, whatever you want to do. And obviously, it's really hard to actually say, next year I'm going to get this. Most of the people fail. We're not like a future fortune tellers or future predictors. If somebody tells you in any business or whatever thing, like, okay, tomorrow, next year I'm going to be doing this, there are huge chances that it will not be achieved. And it's okay, because you don't know what are the things that will come in the way. But not because of that you're going to lay down your dream to nothing. If you say, okay, I want to become a musician, and it could perfectly be as, I want to get, I don't know, I want to make $4,000 per month out of my own music creations. Okay, that's a great plan. Like, I want to live full time out of music, and I want to have $4,000 in my pocket every month because of my music. Okay, cool. Then you start working backwards towards what's the thing that I want to achieve. I think until the moment that you don't have that, frankly speaking, you can spin in circles forever. I would say.
That's one of the biggest tricks. How do you know you're spinning in circles? Or how do you know that you're actually in an upward spiral? It feels the same sometimes, at least from my own perspective and my own experience. I think also
spinning in circles, or like the flat part of a hockey stick, and you don't know where you're gonna reach the moment that it really boom, goes up. Because spinning in circles,
you always go in circles, but it's just a matter if you spiral up or you spiral down. I think also you cannot really stay in place. I don't believe that you can stay in place in one spot and not change.
No, I mean, probably you need to do some tweaks to wherever you're going. But if you're like fully sure of what you want to do, then you start saying, okay, is just to give you a silly example, is working in this library going to help me to anything?
Yeah.
Of what am I going? The answer is yes or no. Okay, just if it's no, leave the library, or figure out another way in the library. I'm just saying the library for like another activity that it's not related to what you're working towards personally. But I really believe like you can do all sorts of stuff and focus on the randomness of the things, and that's all good, but it does not mean that you're going somewhere.
Yeah.
I mean, you can do all sorts of stuff, playing oboe, the drums, and then playing the guitar, and maybe some people have like, okay, I have a great impression that my musical skills are going great now, because I learned how to play a bass, or I learned how to play the drums. Okay, cool. That's nice. But is that bringing you the $4,000 a month? Or when do you think this is going to be bringing you the $4,000 a month? I'm just giving you like a random little salary.
I think we can go even more specific. Let's say I'm a singer-songwriter.
Yeah.
So I think, let's say I have songs I've written. All the songs are great. I always play to people. They like it. I have beautiful voice. Maybe maybe I was in a choir since I'm a kid, so it's natural for me to sing. I can play good guitar. And now what do I do, you know?
You want to get the magic solution for that. I mean,
I think the mindset is the most important, you know? It's even more important than what we actually do. I think the most important that you already mentioned is having the goal, having the vision.
Yeah, for me, I mean, that drives the whole thing. If you know what, the thing is like that, I mean, these steps, they really depend on the vision that you have. Yeah. But I mean, as a very, what I would say, like what I see from people who are not doing and those who are success, I mean, those who probably like grow their thing. First of all, release stuff. I mean, it's like if you're going to be recording something, just make sure that you release it in a consistent basis.
Yes and no. Also believe
and don't release them all at once.
There is a certain level you need to have before you release the music. You cannot release any shit and think it will bring you people and people will like it. You need to be also in a different. You need to provide different quality than what usually. Yeah, I don't know. It really depends as well.
I mean, if it's your first album, let's say, or your first EP,
anything that you release out there that is somehow connected to you needs to have a standard that will make you feel proud that you're out there with this standard. This is something I highly believe in, and if you go for it, it can also take a while until you achieve this.
I kind of disagree with that. I got the feeling that's a mind block for people. Like, oh, I'm not yet proud, and I don't know, and too many questions.
I'm not saying proud, but it's supposed to be in a standard. You cannot release a song that you recorded in your house and no mix, no nothing, you know? You cannot release a song that your vocals are not clear. You cannot release a song that everything sounds muddy and the low end is not so defined. You cannot release
I will be more on the side of just release it and show the people this is a prototype. Like, you're not going to reach perfection ever. Or you will reach some standard while you're doing it. You know, you're going to just, release, improve, repeat. I don't know. It's like this release, measure, and, learn and repeat, whatever.
Yeah, it's also a thing.
I mean, you have to kind of get into a loop in which you're doing things. You're releasing and you're improving at each time. Because if you're thinking, okay, the first one has to be at a certain standard, you don't even know what the standard is. Some people, not you, but some people don't really know what the standard is or what the others are thinking about them. And most of their friends maybe don't even know that they're actually doing music, and they don't really care. So, I mean, at least just put it out there so, you start, telling people I'm doing something. I mean, obviously, with the what we said before, there are no excuses to make it correctly. I mean, get a pop filter, get a microphone, get like a stand connected to a proper Focusrite or a Behringer or whatever. For $200, you're good to go if you want to record something at home, or even less. So you can actually do some stuff. Well, I mean, if you're really bad about doing music, okay, well, I mean, that's not going to help you in the short term.
What is it being really bad doing music?
I mean, what I'm saying is, like, if you are listening to yourself and you think this is terrible, well, I mean, just don't release it, or I don't know. If you don't like what you do and you don't do it passionate, and you don't think that you can actually... if you put too many questions, I don't think it's a good thing. I mean, maybe your mind is telling you don't be a musician, and period.
Maybe it's my own mindset, but what I tell you about standard is not like it must be in a certain way, but it must be somehow digestible and appeal to people, because in the end, you're selling your product. And some people say, no, I don't want to sell my music, but just the fact that it's out there on Spotify, you're selling your product.
True, and but I mean, there is,
your song is one thing.
If you don't know what the standard is for which audience, it's undefinable. I mean,
the song is one thing. The way it's been executed, I think it will determine a lot if the song will be good or not. There are many songs that are not such good songs, but they execute it really well, and they're just out there because it's easy for people to listen to them.
That's a good song if it's easy for people to listen to them.
Well, what's a good song? How do you measure a good song? Is it a good production, or the idea of the song is good?
It could be the melody, for example, or the lyrics. I don't know. But I mean, if people are enjoying it and it's easy to digest, and people are willing to kind of sing it and share it, maybe it's a good song.
There are many songs that are quite complex songs, but they're good. They're easy to digest.
I mean, I would say, like, I mean, if somebody wants to, my opinion is like, if you have music, I mean, maybe I'm on the other side of your street, but I'm like, don't focus that much on trying to find a standard. Just release the stuff and ask people, what do you think about it? Okay, and your friend tells you, yeah, maybe the lyrics could have been better recorded or better written, or the voice better recorded. Okay, cool. Then for the next one, you do it better, but you just do consistent work.
All right.
Maybe you can release one single, and then, you know, you share with your friends, 25 friends. Then you say, okay, I'm going to try to find. I mean, one thing is release. The second one is having some sort of a consistency. I mean, if I'm going to record and I'm going to release this, okay, every 2-3 months, I'm going to release a new single, which is kind of like an EP at the end per year, which is like the bare minimum if you consider if you want to tell your friends that you're a musician. Like, I mean, if you're not recording for 3 years, well, I mean, you are not a musician. I mean, what do I want to say? You recorded something before, but you're not actively working on that, and you're not actively recording more stuff. Well, that's just a thing of the past.
But this is what you're saying. It's something very tricky, and it's good, of course. Make as much a song as possible. You know, the more you make songs, the more you will grind it, the better you will be probably, and the easier and the faster you will understand what's there. But this is a concept that really blows my mind, how many people are falling to this trick. There is a difference between doing and overdoing. And overdoing is the right way, in my opinion. Sometimes we do it very average, but we still do. It can take as much effort for me to do it average than to overdo it, to go on top of everything. And if you do it average, you're still doing it. You cannot say you're not doing it. But what's really have the impact is the overdoing it, all over the top, you know, like over the top. How do you say it? When everything is way more than what you would expect it to be.
I'm cool that people are chasing excellence. That's great, but I mean, it's like
that's the only way, man.
The excellence do not block you.
But what do I say to you? Hey, listen, I have a very average album for you to listen. This album is so mediocre. Or I tell you,
true,
man, listen to this album. This is one of the best things I ever heard in my life. Which one will be more excited for you?
I know, but I mean, I don't know if... Let's check the car market. Like, I mean, Fiat could make Ferraris, right? But they make Fiats because they make it for a family who the only purpose they have is to go from the office to home and take the kids to football game, whatever. Now, if you want to go at 300 kilometers an hour and... have all lighting system and entertainment system, whatever that is, maybe you get a Tesla, you get a Mercedes-Benz, you pay more. So it's not the same people who will consume this or that.
It's and also I think a very different product.
True, and it's fine.
Because so I think, like, you pay a lot more for Lamborghini if you want to pay for Fiat.
The quality is defined by the audience. I don't think the quality should be defined only by the musician.
The musician can bring it in a different standard. But let's take the car example, you know. The thing is that
the car, Fiat, they know who are they selling to, but the musician at the beginning does not. Because the musician, when you're releasing something, you have no freaking idea, because obviously you have like 0 listeners on Spotify and best case scenario, 150 friends on Instagram. So that gives you no authority to say, I know what my audience wants. No, you don't know shit. I mean, there's no song out there. So how can you define quality?
Yeah, you need to go and discover who the people who like you, and then you need to somehow harmonize with them, right?
I would say like don't start like spinning around the wheels of quality, because it's a thing that you're gonna lose.
But here's the thing.
Just do the best you can do now. Drop it. And then ask for people, like, did you listen to this? What do you think? No, it's total shit, man. Okay, cool. Well, then I'm going to be improving something. Or the lyrics I didn't like, or the bass was muffled. I don't know. There's so many things that could happen when you put something in front of people from the very first time. You can have an idea. It's like, oh, this is great. And then when you give them to them, they're like, this is just shit. And you max yourself out for, you know, wow, like... You hear a lot of musicians saying like, "Hey, look at this! How I recorded these drums and whatever." Yeah, people maybe they don't really give a shit. I mean, it's just musician nerd talk. But I mean, musicians are all the time like checking what the other musicians do, but it doesn't mean that they're the audience. You know what I mean?
Yeah, they're not the audience. And this is also something, and I get the car, but let me go a little bit more on the car example.
Yeah.
So how much you pay for a Fiat and how much you pay for a Lamborghini? You pay way more for a Lamborghini or Ferrari or whatever sport car you want to take. When you're listening to a song, if it's a 3-minute song, it's a 3-minute song. Would you rather listen to a 3-minute mediocre song or to a 3-minute song that somehow pushes some emotions and makes you feel something? It makes you feel happy. It makes you feel like you're in a certain place. You know, where would you be more satisfying investing your time? Because time is time.
True, but I mean, like you don't consume music in the same place.
What do you mean?
You consume music when you go to the gym and there's like boom, 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 and that feels good. And if you put me a singer-songwriter, which is awesome, like if I go to a gym, just a silly example, right? Because there's a lot of music out there. It's really different, and the same person can consume different style of music in different contexts. It's not the same music that you listen to when you go to the gym than the one that you are drinking while drinking a beer with your friend in the couch than the one that you are listening while you're cooking. So I think like music provides an experience, a background experience for what you're doing in many moments. When you're working, maybe you're not listening Slipknot and you're listening to something else. And when you're with friends or you go to check Slipknot in a concert, and it's fine. But I think like the quality of each one of that music, it's irrelevant to like people are not thinking like I want something that it's on the right standard. I just want something that fits what I'm doing now.
People don't notice this, right? They're not aware of this, but it's there. And
no, people are not aware. That's why like you listen to jazz and people are like, they're like, oh, jazz is like, yeah, but you can listen to jazz while cooking. Like I may not know who's playing.
It doesn't matter who is playing, but
I don't care, to be honest.
Sometimes I don't care as well. But what is important for me is that the sound quality will be good.
Depends. Maybe I have a shitty speaker, you know what I mean?
Especially if you have a shitty speaker.
But I mean, like...
It doesn't matter so much what speaker. It really depends also on the time horizon. Today, also mixes are being made for laptops because they have no bass.
I think for me, it's more important just do the stuff and keep improving on the go as you're doing it and releasing, because it's more like a parallel thing rather than it's not a serial thing. Like first I do this, then I do the other one. It's more like I have to release, get the audience, get the pictures, be in the podcast, whatever. But at the beginning, just release and make sure that you can release consistently. Then
there is no doubt about the consistency. I think the quality should be as high as possible from the beginning. And really, this is something people who are about to release stuff, they need to contemplate on. If I play my song now and relative to the biggest hits at this very genre that I want to be in, is it sound like it can be one of them? You know, this is what people need to think. If I'm an artist, let's say I'm a metal artist and I put my songs and it sounds like Slipknot or Pantera or Metallica, then I want to play my song next to all those songs to see if this is the right standard. They did something right. That's why they're so big. And then you can also look at your website as the artist and you look at the big websites.
But again,
you just see what works and where you are relatively to that. That's it, man. It's like now I'm painting a picture.
I think that's
painting a picture.
That's a mindset that can bring
I'm painting
like a
picture,
lot of,
and also Picasso or Dali is painting a picture next to me, and they put a lot of effort. They overdid it. They draw for hours and hours, and people thought they might go insane. And then if I'm right now start to draw and I go next to them, I see, you know, like I'm not in their level. I still have way more to do. I can see it. I can make the comparison, and this is something that is very important because I can still draw. But only until I put myself where I want to be and I start to compare what I have right now to what there is, what is the big players are doing, the people who are doing it for years, and they already know how to do the music in the way that it will be relevant for people. And it can be so many stuff. It's how you look on stage, how your music sounds like. Do you have some...
True, but I mean,
man.
You cannot really compare to like...
It's everything. And those who are very successful, they are interesting.
But it would be exactly the same that if I would tell you, like, oh, you're starting a podcast, okay, it needs to be as good as the Joe Rogan one. Okay, no, because
that's the standard. You go and you see Joe Rogan, and then you think...
But you cannot reach that standard at the very beginning. You need to kind of make it on the go. Otherwise, you never start.
But if I just... Yeah.
Because you could say, oh, yeah, I put the walls here on the video and the stuff. It's like, yeah, well, but you're not Joe Rogan. So, I mean, you're not right. You. I mean, anybody. So
I'm not Joe Rogan.
I don't encourage people to look at standard of somebody else that it's famous already for starting to do their stuff. I mean, Pantera, okay, yeah, now they're awesome. But I mean, how they started, in which disgusting, terrible sound of a Sao Paulo bar they were playing when they started in Brazil. We don't know. Like, what was Picasso painting? Like, the amount of shit that he painted at the very beginning.
What?
That
Pantera started in Brazil.
He's Brazilian, right? Pantera.
No, yeah.
Pantera, yeah.
No. The other ones. Sepultura.
Sepultura. Yes. It's sorry. Sepultura is Brazilian. Pantera is from
Texas.
Sorry. You're right. So, well, what type of disgusting bar in Texas they started playing? I don't even want to know. You know, it's like, and especially Sepultura. That's an even better example now. So, I mean, what type of crazy joint in Brazil they started these guys? You cannot really compare to the reality now of that artist. I don't think like they should, because it blocks you. You don't have the tools to actually do something like they do. I mean, yes, they are famous. Probably
what
they
do
have.
You mean you don't have the tools? Today it's even more accessible.
Then why are not people are not Madonna? Just because they don't follow a standard of Madonna, let's say.
Let's say that. Let's take this example. Let's go with it, okay? If you want to be successful as Madonna...
Give me an example of somebody who released something, it's like, from your friends who you think that they are like all the time going an extra, that actually made it the first time exactly as the quality and they reach the same results. It doesn't exist. I mean, at some point you need to start with...
You have Matan Goldstein, which is example for that.
True. I'm not saying that Matan is not bad, but I'm just like, is he it's like... He can make as much as he wants, but then it's like he's not managing Pantera.
Yeah, not yet.
True, but he needs to start with something, which is producing me, whatever, and a friend of me who plays the guitar, you know, and then he starts building his network, and then you starting going up, and that's a natural path.
Of course. The way to go
at the same
faster,
time that you have Matan, you have many other producers who are good.
This is very true.
And some, they will finish producing somebody like Pantera. It's okay. And some, they will end up all their life producing small artists who have like, I don't know, 1,000, 2,000 Spotify, let's say, streams per month. Just to give you a rough idea. Is that bad? No, I don't know. I don't care.
It depends what you want.
I mean, it depends what he wants, right? But is he fucked it up because he was not up to the standard? I don't know. I mean, it's like I cannot say because Fiat makes shitty cars compared to Mercedes, but it's just another market. So I'm not really sure. Like, I'm not somebody who would say you should focus on the standard, because I think the standard, you make it on the go. You need to be really clear with your purpose and with your creative style and the technical capabilities, which many musicians don't know.
What is the technical capability?
Well, I mean, if you want to say, okay, when you're going to record it properly. Okay, what's properly? It's like, should I use this mic or I should use like, I mean, some musicians do not know about how good is one mic for them and how bad is, and it's not about the price. You know what I mean? You can have like a good mic who costs $2,000 and then another one which costs $1,200. Maybe that one makes you feel better when you are like singing to it. It's warm or whatever. So I think like controlling all the technical standards before releasing something, I particularly would say just don't focus that makes it that it's good enough.
How does it? What I said is exactly what you're saying right now.
Well, I'm not saying focus first on the standard before release. For me, it's like focus. I mean, obviously.
When you release something,
if you have a song, if you have a phone here and you have a microphone, I mean, yes, use a microphone. Don't be freaking lazy. But on the other hand, like, just release as soon as possible. Some people can do some awesome stuff with the phone. But release, I think it's more like getting the release consistency.
I don't think so. Sometimes you can release really bad stuff and it gets stuck to you. You know, people then think, oh, this is the singer that is not in tune. And all of his albums sounds like that.
How many people, all of their albums
I mean, if you have a different idea about it.
I mean, if you reach to actually manage to say albums, it means that they already recorded many things.
It doesn't say it's good if you record something.
No, I'm not saying that. I mean, I listen to a lot of stuff of people who nicely record something. I still think it's shit. Because I don't like that. I mean, it's not that I base on some... Sometimes I listen to stuff and I say, this is great, but you put me Sepultura or Pantera, and I would tell you, I don't like this shit. And I don't care how well they record it. Because for me...
It's one thing if you don't like it, but it's one thing if it's good.
But it's part of, like I can listen to like...
why you don't like it, it's your own biases, it's your own brain, it's your own thinking.
What's the name of this singer-songwriter who has like these insanely shittily recorded songs from the 70s as a Pink Moon? I'm thinking about Nick Drake or Nick
Drake
or Nick Cave. Nick Cave?
No, I think Nick Cave is someone else.
It's another guy.
Drake. I know what you're talking about.
Well, this guy. I mean, the recordings are just some random recordings, man. I mean, and he made it,
Yeah.
And he gives me more emotions than Korn recording in LA with a high top level, whatever. I don't give a shit about it.
There is a still standard also in his recordings. The way it sounds, the guitar sounds full. You hear bass frequencies,
You're talking about this guy, I forgot his name.
Pink Moon, Nick Cave, Nick.
No, I mean, it's like Nick. I forgot the name. It's like Nick something Drake. Pink Moon.
Yeah, Pink Moon is the name of the album, and it's just him recording with acoustic guitar.
Yeah, this guy, he's dead now.
Yeah, he became successful after he died, I think.
Well, probably, how many people told him,
people.
this is not up to the standard, It's like, he was like, which standard? It's like...
Yeah. So we go back to standards. I don't know where it stopped recording, but this is a standard. As a host of a podcast... It's a standard that it will stay running the whole fucking time. Luckily, you don't pay me money for this.
Well, I would have said, that's good that you're doing the podcast. That's already great. There's going to be fuck-ups in the middle. Fine. Now you know what's going to be for next podcast. What's a battery thing to do.
But let's go with that a bit more, yeah? So this is the standard that I want the podcast to be recorded consistently without stopping at moments that I wish to be recorded. And if I bring another guest and it happens again... and I'm not improving, I'm not putting myself where the standard is, which is not to have any stops in the recording when I want it to be recorded, then I will not get better. And then if it happens more time, then I will start to have the reputation that, you go to Ohad, you do a podcast, and then it's not recorded.
Yeah, but it could be completely different. Maybe people, they come ask me and I don't care about this, you know what I mean?
Why would you waste your time coming here? To know this podcast will be recorded so it can help you promote your music, but then he fucked it up because you don't know what he's doing. So I just wasted 2-3 hours for my time in a podcast that is not existing anymore.
True, but in this case, we're talking about just...
It's the same, man. Music. I don't enjoy listening to this song. Maybe it's a great song. I don't enjoy listening to that. Maybe just, I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe the sound
I'm more
is too
pragmatic.
much.
I'm like, listen, just release the stuff, be consistent, and then try to define a path where you want to go. Everything aligns to some basic standards. I think everything aligns to just that, man.
The higher your standards, the more likely that you will be successful.
Cool. If you can reach them, because you can be dead of your standards.
Just the fact that you go there. This is your destination, How do you know how to come here? You're the destination. This is my address. All right, I'm here. This is where I need to go. And then you see, this is my path. If you have a goal that is really on the high standards, I think you have way more chances to achieve something on the way there than if you lower your bar just to be somewhere and to achieve it. It feels better when you lower the bar,
Yeah, I mean, hard to say. I think it's like they're like two different approaches, right?
Just go crazy, kamikaze.
I mean, at the end of the game, it's like, okay, when you're about to go death, before those last days, you will probably know if you know that you're gonna be dying, you're gonna know if you did correct or not. Period. Yeah. I mean, I think it's like marketing wise, there's always like this top 10 things you should do, blah blah blah. I mean, you can reach the same place with an insane amount of techniques, you know. But I mean, if you're passionate about what you're doing and you're happy with what you're doing now, it's just, I mean, be happy like that. Happy. I'm not saying like you're living miserable and I'm doing nothing. But in any case, like my thing, just to wrap up the idea, would be, first of all, you know, try to have some idea of what your goal is. Then be consistent on what you do. And 3, get some growth mentality, at least, so you can share with more people. Sounds like a thing for somebody who's playing on a stage and planning to play on festivals. But frankly speaking, most of the people that I interview, they would really love to play in a festival, playing in front of the crowd. Like, I think for many people that would be like, wow, that would be so amazing to be playing on a festival. Not many people actually achieve this. I know that success varies, but if you want to play in a festival, most probably you're going to have the idea of playing in a festival, the consistency to, like, you know, get people to know that you're doing things every day, and then having some sort of a growth on the amount of audience that you have. Then the standard on that's something that OHAD can tell you how
go
to
see who
achieve.
Perform in those festivals that you are performing, that you want to perform, not performing yet. You know, this is something also for me when I went to festivals.
Yeah.
It really pumped me because I saw those people playing on stages in front of so many people. And some of them, I really thought, hey, I can play guitar way better than this guy on stage. And he got thousands of people listening to him. You know?
And what do you think is the point? What's the thing is the thing that they did that you didn't?
Well, there are many stuff they did that I didn't. All right, it's a whole different podcast if we go there now.
I mean, yeah, for sure.
But just the fact to know that you can also do that. And I know that there are a lot of people who have the same feeling as me, that they see someone on stage and they know, oh, I can do it better. So, if you have this feeling, just go there and push it, push it and just go crazy. That's all it is. If you have, if you're about to drown, you will not think, oh, maybe I should save a little bit of muscles so I can have more energy. No, man, you fucking swim for your life. You swim for your life and somehow you find more energy.
Yeah, but I think...
You want to live, right?
I agree with you.
It's comfortable to live today. And if you don't have the hunger, you cannot go for it. It's comfortable, man. You fucking sit on your phone on your ass. You order gorillas. You have food coming here. You want weed, you order from your phone, man. Everything is from the phone. You do nothing. Everything comes to you. You need the hunger.
You need to be hungry. That's true. That's a fact.
That's it, man.
The hungriest you are, probably the more like get shit done mentality. You
go into details. Really go into details. Study those who are successful. Go into details. Unless you want to take your time with that, man.
It's not that the people don't want to do that. It's like what the people don't want to do is like stop doing some other stuff in their life that actually are like not really aligned to the goal. I'm going to give you just this example before wrapping up my whole thing, because it is something that happened to me in Berlin. It's personal, and it was like a process of 4 or 5 months that I do it to a very limit, and then I didn't do it anymore. Like when I got here, I mean, that's kind of silly, right? I think I told you all this. Like when I got here, I was like 78 kilos. Okay. Yeah, and I was feeling like not that good physically. And I was smoking and kind of like eating randomly and a lot of, carbs, whatever, donuts, pretzels, whatever I would find during the day, a great opportunity to eat, even if I was not hungry. Same with like eating pasta, etc. I had this friend, he's like, hey, we went to play football. I kicked the ball and I injured my leg. Okay. Kind of like, you have this tension in the muscle. My friend is like, dude, you don't look in great shape. I'm like, yes, you are right. I don't look in great shape. He's like, do you want to do something about it? Yes, I do. what can we do about it? He's like, intermittent fasting, I'll make yourself a diet and I'll go with you to run. Okay. So this guy, my friend Santiago.
What is intermittent fasting for those who don't know?
Sorry, not intermittent fasting, but it's like when it's time-restricted feeding or time-restricted eating. So you just eat in a certain moments of the day. So in my case, I think it's really popular here in Berlin. Many people is doing these 16-8 schedules in which you don't eat for 16 hours. I mean, at some moment you sleep. So that's kind of like 4 hours not eating, 8 hours of sleeping, 4 hours not eating, and then you eat again. And the logic is like, there is a biological term to this, which is like the cells, they start to like eat themselves, and then you basically improve the way that, you know, energy is consuming your body. So it depends on metabolism, but overall, basically you're eating fat. If you nourish it with, you know, proteins and everything, so you don't need your muscles, but it's actually eating the fat. Plus the fact that I was doing all these exercises before I start eating, so I was kind of like getting really efficient at fat losing, and I lost like almost 12 kilos in 4 months. Which was probably the biggest fat loss or like weight change I've ever had in my life during 4 months. Now, to achieve the thing, I had to stop seeing people, stop drinking beer, no more pizza partying, no more late night sleeping. I was becoming like a monk. Could I have gone all my life like this? Yes, but I would have to like drop a lot of things of musicians, connections, you know, hanging around with friends, etc. So what I'm saying is like sometimes you can reach some sort of a goal, or you can reach whatever you propose. In my opinion, was like, you know, I had to actually improve my diet, and I wanted to actually lose some weight because it was unhealthy for me. But then on the other hand, it's like every time you're doing something that takes a lot of energy from you and it's hard and it's you probably have to leave some stuff that you're doing now. You're going to have to leave them aside for a while. And I think everybody can achieve stuff, you know, and go full focus into this. And I think what people do not are not willing to do is to resign many of the things that are currently doing. Because at some point you need to stop. Like if you have a goal at some point, you need to focus. I mean, you might have to focus on that full time. And many of your friends, family, or things that you do are not really aligned with that goal, and they might disappear out of your life. So, I mean, I think besides setting the goal and being consistent on what you do, I think like you also need to know that there's always a risk that your life, how it is now, it will not be as it is now when you reach that goal. Many people, it's going to be left behind, and many of your activities are going to be disappeared. And that's kind of like a sad thing that nobody wants to. I mean, it's easier to tell them like, yeah, just get the goal and things are going to move. But I think if you set the goal, probably you're going to start seeing around that many other people who are around your life, they will just disappear.
It depends if those people.
If you don't manage to kind of like change. Some people help, but still, I mean, it's
if
like,
they help you or not. Sometimes what I notice with people, you want to do something and you want to go out of a place that is not good for you, but some of the people just keep on pulling you down. Sometimes it's difficult for certain people to see you pushing yourself. It makes them feel uncomfortable.
Well, I mean, again, if you're trying to get out of the average of these people that you hang around with, they will definitely like be uncomfortable.
They will try to put you down. That's it. Yeah. Because, what the fuck? He showed me that I can do more. I don't want to do more. What the fuck are you doing? Stop doing that. Come, let's have some pizza.
Yeah, in that case, I mean, you need to get rid of these people. I'm sorry. As simple as that. As much as I'm sorry to kind of have to wrap up today because
let's wrap it up.
But we spent actually some time.
Yeah, it's good to see you once in a while, man.
I think the problem that I have in my life is like I could have keep talking forever. You know what I mean? But at some point, like I gotta like, okay, man, it was like if I keep talking, like I will never make it to that museum on time.
Which museum you go to?
I went to CO actually. The CO, it's a photo. It's not a museum. It's a photography. It's like a
historical art
I don't
gallery?
know. I don't even know how they call themselves. It's like it's a museum or exposition center only of photography. It's on Zoologische Garden, right on the same block, but just around the corner of the other photography museum of this guy that I always forget his name, like the
very good directions.
No. I'm terrible at name. I mean, this guy. There's like this museum of photography in Berlin, or gallery of the photography gallery in Berlin, which is really known from this photographer who's like a fashion photographer. And then he opened this huge house there in front of Zoologische Garden many years ago, I guess. And they have this exposition of his work, which I forgot his name, but it's super interesting work, and you have some expositions. Now, the C/O, I don't think they call themselves museum, but I think they just call it a photographic center or photography exhibitions. Now they have like 3 photographers that are exhibiting there. It's a huge place. So for those who like photography, probably they would go at some point, but I've been there like a few times, and now they put a new exhibition, and this is gonna be one of the last weekends that I have for doing this one, because the next one I have my cinema club, and then the others are gonna be probably more focused on this trip to LA.
LA, I wonder what's going on in LA today.
Well, I mean, it's actually they're going through the lowest temperatures in history in LA, so it's like 6-7 degrees. The same as here.
What?
But yeah, it's really crazy.
What?
It's like the lowest temperatures in LA in history. Apparently, they've been like last week and before they were like
going on
4 to 8 degrees.
Do you think because all the people left them somehow it affects the climate?
Maybe. But hopefully when I'm gonna reach there, it's gonna be like
back to normal.
Back to normal, yeah.
20 degrees, sunshine.
Yeah,
that's it.
That was actually but well, that's the photography stuff that I gotta go. Otherwise, I'm gonna keep talking forever, man.
Yeah. So what about all the musicians who are listening? How can they contact Kiremico? How can they offer themselves for the hard-working musicians?
The hard-working musicians, or at least like those who take the opportunities. I mean, they could not be hard-working, but they take the opportunities when they spot. Just Kiremico.com. There's I mean, if Kiremico on Instagram, Kiremico on YouTube. And then on the Kiremico page, Kiremico.com, there's a button that says work with us, and there you fill the form, and you are going to be automatically part of the group of contacts that we send the spots to get a session whenever we have sessions, and we have sessions once a month. Now, I would suggest that you check out your emails like Adar Alfari has done, which he constantly checks emails, and he spots these opportunities quicker than anybody else. So, I mean, if you want some insights on how to get the sessions, I think it's like you should ask Adar. Ask Adar. He's the guy who's like
the opportunity taken.
But for like one in a matter of 2 months, I filmed like 3 times.
Wow.
2, 3.
In 2 months?
But this is even better. Wait. Not only I filmed him 3 times, but he also managed to bring some friends on the same sessions, which means that not only he is fast enough to check the emails, but he's fast enough to tell other friends, come and sign up. Which makes him like a more like altruistic human. It's like, guys, like I got spots. There are spots. It's like I call you.
That's awesome. He gives value to
actually. It's like he gives value to everybody. So ask Adar how to get the sessions. But we have like again, the tour calculator. I think it's just freaking insane.
Yeah, we did not talk about it at all.
I know. But I was excited. But I think it's gonna be better like next time when I will send it over. Like, I mean, keep in mind that there's a tour calculator. We presented in a music marketing meetup that's organized by Julian.
Can people have access already to the calculator?
Not yet. What we did on the music meetup, I present that, and then I sit down with some musicians like Pinar. She sat down, I programmed that to her, I created the emails campaign for her, and it took us like 15 minutes or less to actually get this stuff done. I mean, things that could take for many musicians freaking hours and some days, like we organized, we put some inputs like number of cities, the type of contacts that you need, the dates that you're going. You just click one button and it exports all the contacts from the venues, labels, whatever cities you're looking for.
Epic, man.
And then you just put it on the hunter. It would take like 10 extra minutes. What we're trying to do now is like, how can we automate this? I mean, now it's going to be more like what we're going to present in the next 2 weeks is more like a web app. So it's going to be on our website and you can download the CSV. And then the next stage would be to probably send it, improve that interface, but then like at some point, like just click and send it from a login and send it from your email. And that's it, and do the follow-ups and make software work for you while you can, get the music done. So, if we can actually, our vision is to have like a tour calculator, which is like click a button and just shoots the emails for you. And you're like, that's it.
Easy.
We're trying to make it easy. Obviously, when you're booking something, touring, it's not that the venue is waiting for you to send them an email doing nothing all day. No, they have like 100 other musicians sending emails and asking them for being booked. Especially, you got to work on a 6-month, 8-month, 10-month basis, right? Like if you call them tomorrow, it's not like, oh yeah, we actually have a free bar for you. It's like, oh, hi, thanks that you called me.
We waited for you.
We waited for you all these years,
just for you
right?
to call us.
No, they don't give a shit. They already have like millions of musicians calling them and sending them messages every freaking day. That they cannot cope with that. So just work on your stuff between 6-10 months at least. My friend Cisco, he's booking for next year, 12 months in advance.
Yeah, that's the right plan to do.
It is because, for a fact that they're empty.
Yeah.
Or they're empty, but, it's like the more, planning that you have in terms of time. But again, you need to be a real musician if you're planning to 1 year ahead. Many people don't know what they're going to do in 1 week.
Yeah, exactly.
So first of all, get your shit together, plan 1 year, contact the venues, have standards. And the standard for the venue, I'd say the standard is your number on Spotify. Somebody listens to you, or they're gonna click on your Spotify and they're gonna see 3 monthly listeners. This guy is not gonna sell beer. This chick, this band of girls, they are all they sound good, but nobody listens to them. So nobody wants to work with somebody who's not being listened to.
Yeah, and also someone who listens or plays bots or something.
Yeah, so
like
at
that.
least make yourself that you get into the competition of the pigeon competition.
The son of a pigeon.
The son of a pigeon competition. Yeah. Then you get your good standards recorded. High standards. Then you get your promotional tool done.
We have really high standards, Sometimes people can break underneath the high standard. It might be too much for them.
It might be too much. I would say at least get into the competition, win it, get the stuff done.
We can make you stronger, come.
And then I think you guys should have how many winners are going to be out there?
Going to be 3 winners. One of them going to win the big prize, which is the whole song
Why
production.
is it that we're not making a Kiremico session on those 3 people in the same studio? That's something that
we can upgrade the price. Why not?
I'm not going to be part of the pricing, but definitely we'll be happy to actually go and shoot.
Yeah, we can make the prize.
You should
bigger. Say what you want to shoot? You want to shoot a live recording, or what is the?
We shoot with Matani in the boiler sessions that we did 6 months ago. If you guys are gonna be shooting, and there's a possibility to say, okay, every half an hour, boom, in 1 hour and a half recording, and then 1 extra hour for getting the lights in and out. We could actually do a micro session, and then we also do a video.
It is possible, yeah.
Only for those winners.
Only for the 3 winners.
Yeah.
So the first prize, as I told you, is the whole production of the song. Not whole production, but we give quite a lot. The second prize,
substandard of that.
Man, if you give a whole fucking production, wow, I will be bankrupt.
We're gonna record it with 3 Zoom and 1 cell phone, and then
1 cell phone, yeah. And we take the guitar through Boss GT10.
That's amazing.
We use guitar port to make all the production.
Awesome. Let's make it awesome. But anyways,
so second prize will be guitar recording, mixed to the song, and drum/percussion. And the third prize will be photo shooting. So those are the prices.
You have different prices.
Yeah, they don't get all the same prices. Only the first place will get the high value price, but the other ones.
What's the second one?
It will get drum sessions with Matan, guitar sessions with me, and I mix the song.
When you mix sessions, mean that okay.
We record drums and guitars to the song.
I see.
And I mix it. It's like Gucci, you know. You
mix it and sound. And then the third one is like the photo sessions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, if you guys want to add the perk, like everybody gets a Kiremico session, but you need to provide the studio. We need to, whatever.
All right, yeah, it's possible. Why not?
Let's ask Hitai. Let's ask Adar.
Adar. Somehow Adar will show up there. Maybe he can apply to the contest. I don't know. Let's see.
We'll send it on the newsletter. When's the contest ends?
It ends on 26th of March. Yeah.
Okay, we can actually get the last Pods newsletter. I'll ask.
Yeah.
That will be fun. Yeah, I'll ask Luz for you to send her all the stuff. She makes the newsletters.
All right. Actually, we can release it tomorrow.
Is it released now or not?
What?
The communication. Podcast? You mean the podcast or?
Yeah, maybe I can release it even tomorrow. So
release it on some pod on Tuesday or Wednesday, so we prepare a newsletter and we just send it right at that moment.
Yeah, so just shove it in the middle
with the pigeon contest as well.
With the pigeon,
you give us all the assets that you have of your pigeon content, and then we send the links and
actually there is even one more thing about the contest. So there is Marta, the stylist. You know Marta?
Marta.
She's a Polish singer. She's incredible.
I know her. Marta
Janowicz.
Yeah. I talk to her sometimes. I think it's part of the group, I guess.
She did the styling for a lot of photo sessions that we did together and for my video clip. And she's a crazy singer. And she's going to do also a live concert on the 18th with her band Kokoro. And it's going to be also a jam session afterwards. And we also make like kind of a contest in her. Like not contest, a giveaway. It's actually a giveaway. So we give away 5 tickets for her concert. 3 tickets going to be just to random people who would like to take part in this.
Okay.
But they will need to be going in the event itself.
It's getting professional, this thing.
Yeah, and we're also going to give away 2 tickets for 2 musicians who are going to sign their songs to the contest. We're going to have some deadline. I think it might be 1 week before. Maybe next weekend it will be the deadline.
Send me all together so we can send it on the new newsletter.
So we're just going to draw randomly from all the musicians who already sent the songs. We're going to draw 2 of them. They're going to get 2 tickets to the concert and they will present their music as well in the jam session.
Good. So
they will have a spotlight.
Full pack with stuff.
Yeah, why not, man? Let's support each other.
Makes sense.
That's how Pearl Jam became so famous.
That's how the pigeon sessions.
Pearl Pigeon Jam.
Okay.
Pigeon Jam.
Well, thanks much for inviting me.
Man, thank you for your time and for your knowledge. Thank you for sharing all of this.
We spent like many hours here.
A lot of many hours.
You're going to have some nice editing to do.
No editing, man.
No editing. That's how I do it as well.
Yeah, and I don't even need to mix. You want to play something, actually? You want to sing a song?
No, I'm not that good at it. I'm the guy always behind the camera. Otherwise, I'm going to kill your podcast. But next year, I'll come and play something.
All right. Okay. I want some rock and roll from you.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate it, bro.
Thank you, Federico. Ciao, everybody.
Ciao, ciao.
Sound of the Pigeon Podcast.
Sound of the Pigeon Podcast.